familiar to you in Grand Rapids this year. A lot of exciting young talent coming your way.
And it's a balancing act of emotions in Grand Rapids, Danielle. As you know, I mean, Grand Rapids Griffins fans, myself included, we want to selfishly see Kasper and Edvinson and all these players in our uniform, but we also understand the importance of developing, and we're there to bring the talent of the Red Wings, and work with them and get them to Detroit in the National Hockey League. And I think Grand Rapids has done a pretty good job of that over the years, right?
And you mentioned those two players. Yes, they have done a fantastic job of developing players, really the organization as a whole. But you mentioned Edvinson and Kasper, and those guys could push for a spot, but the Red Wings got a lot deeper over this offseason. So you may be starting in Grand Rapids.
If somebody would have told me back at the beginning of the summer, and Art, you would agree with this, that we would likely have Edvinson along with Kasper and a couple of the other names that are being thrown around right now, I would have told you no chance. But of course, they did add some depth, and so those guys might get pushed down, and we'll be very happy about that.
Either way, we're in for a very exciting prospect tournament here in Traverse City. Let's take a look at the Red Wings starting lineups for this evening. We'll start with the forwards, taking a look there. Marco Kasper centering that top line, and then Nate Danielson, the first round pick, 9th overall this year in the draft. Are two players that are definitely going to be highlighted throughout this tournament.
Well, without question. And then you throw Amadeus into the mix, and they're pretty strong up the middle. A lot of interesting and intriguing players. Of course, Carter Mazer, who really, after he left the University of Denver, played Bob, you saw him a couple, 6 games there for GR, did not look out of place. Alexander Doucette, really interesting, led the Quebec League in goal scoring last year. An offensive force, maybe. We'll see. Obviously, the Red Wings still need goal scoring.
And Bob, one player I'm excited to see is Cross Hanas. He was doing very well in Grand Rapids before the injury. Excited to see how that recovery process went for him.
And off the ice, Daniella, here's a kid that you really root for. He's a wonderful young man, and he is determined to play in the National Hockey League and make a name for himself in Detroit and the Motor City. He's excited, and we're excited for his future for sure.
I've loved all of my interactions with Cross, so I agree with you there on the personality. Let's take a look at the defensive pairings this evening. We've got Will Wallander on that top pairing with Antti Tuomisto, and then Andrew Gibson, another 2023 draft pick. And it's just, you really like to see the group here too. Andrew Gibson is another very exciting one, and Will Wallander had a great season over in Rogla playing with Marco Kasper, Art. So to see him here is going to be really, really cool for us.
Well, he's kind of almost the forgotten man. I remember when the Red Wings took him, I think he was either the second or third player taken in the second round. Chris Draper at that point said the Red Wings were surprised, shocked that he fell to them, and it was a no-brainer taking him, and he has quietly gotten better and better and better. I can remember the summer showcase in Plymouth, the first game out, and, sometimes, it takes a while to get you, especially summer hockey, to get your legs, so to speak, and people were texting me, this Wallander, he's never going to play, this guy looks awful. Then the next game it was, this guy's going to be a superstar, you got to give him some time, And
overreacting fans?
Yeah, a little bit. That's usually reserved for me, right? But seriously, William Wallander is a guy to keep your eye on. He is somebody the Red Wings have, when you look at their prospect pool, they have defensemen coming out of their ears, so to speak. I mean, this is a highly skilled group, and they're all very, very good. And as Steve has said many, many times, somewhere down the road, and it might be quicker sooner than later, the Red Wings are going to have some tough decisions to make on some of these young men. And that's why the people that Steve has signed, the defensemen, they're 1-2 year deals if they can, because he knows these youngsters are pushing for jobs, and we'll see. And Wallander is certainly in that mix.
And then the goalies, we have Sebastian Kosa getting the start in net for the Wings.
Who?
And then, Art, don't even get me started. Jan Bednar is also going to get some time. We know that they usually split these games in half for the goaltender, so we'll see how they work it here this evening. I'll let you talk about Kosa, but Bob, you talk about Kosa first, because he's likely going to be in Grand Rapids this season, and we hope he can take the next step in pro hockey.
All I know is that Art wanted you to interview him in both intermissions tonight.
He did, but I don't even know if I can, because I'm not tall enough. I might not even be able to stand next to him and be in the same camera frame. It might not work.
You know what I love about him? Among many things, he's a great young man, and I think he's got a great future ahead of him. His capacity, I think, to play this game, he can bounce back. He played a game with us last year, got called up, played a game in Chicago, got lit up for 6 goals in a period, not even a period and a half. He bounced right back down in Toledo a few days later, and he was terrific the rest of the season. He just shoved that aside and knew all the best goalies have a bad game, and he had one that night, but boy, he's going to be a good one.
Art, I promise you'll have plenty of time to talk Kosa, but I do want to get one thought in about this Dallas Stars team that the Red Wings are facing this evening. Last year, we saw Wyatt Johnson play for Dallas in the prospect tournament. He went on to make the team and play 82 games and go through that playoff run with Dallas. So we know they know how to develop their players, and they're a pretty stacked team right now. But what do you notice? Who stands out to you about the Dallas lineup today?
Well, we've seen him before. Logan Stankoven is a really, really good player. He's not the biggest guy, but he plays a straight game up and down the ice. He goes to the dirty areas. Kind of a reminiscent, maybe a little bit of a Tyler Bertuzzi, so to speak. I'm really eager to see him, but I really want to say this. You've got to compliment Jim Nill and his staff because, our good buddy Jim Nill, a longtime Red Wing, and
General
Dallas,
Manager of the Year?
Yeah, General Manager of the Year. Steve has also won that a few times. I'm sure they kind of compare that when they get together.
Text each other back and
hey,
forth.
I'm going to win it this year. Yeah, sure you are. I'm going to keep making moves, Stevie. Whatever. But the point being is that he has done a wonderful job. I mean, Dallas has some really high-end prospects. A lot of their high-end prospects are already in the league.
All right, we're going to toss it down to the ice for the anthem.
Fans, the staff at Center Ice Arena.
All right, we're ready to get underway. And Art, I'm excited to watch some hockey. How excited are you to see this Red Wings prospect team this evening?
Well, I'm really excited because I can remember when the Red Wings were, the glory days, they traded a lot of their draft picks. They would come up to the tournament because they were hosting it, but there wasn't a lot to see per se about high-end talent. It's different now. Obviously, they're in a rebuild. This is a team that is stacked. It is loaded. I can't wait to see these guys perform, especially the doctor, Sebastian Kosa.
The doctor, the Sebastian Kosa. I was just waiting. You had to get his name in there at least once pregame. I knew it. All right,
Even
Bob.
though Dan Clary says don't call him that.
Where does the doctor come from?
It was actually about him getting a PhD, but now he said that's never going to happen. So now it's the doctor because he saves.
He's anticipating a long NHL career, so school is out now.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll watch these two teams get at it here tonight. Earlier game today, Columbus and Toronto played. Just good to be back inside a hockey rink, especially in Traverse City, Michigan. This is as good as it gets. We're reminiscing about the good old days back in the late 90s and 2000s, all those future Hall of Famers that were part of the Red Wings. Is just a great place to start off a hockey season. We're underway here in the opening period. Great to have you along with us from Center Ice Arena in Traverse City, Michigan, where the Prospects Tournament and the Wings have been training since 97, correct?
Yeah, since 97 we've been coming up here. I wasn't, I can remember some of those trips. Some of them I cannot. I'm just getting older, Danielle. What are you insinuating? But as usual, too. You said the crowds are great up here. Sold out once again. So not an empty seat to be seen.
Play back down behind the Red Wing net to our left-hand side. Dallas and Detroit here tonight, part of the Prospects Tournament. You go into the lobby here and you see the banner and how proud the teams, NHL teams are that to come away with the trophy. So it's a big deal to these young players for sure. Not just trying to impress the management, name for themselves and earn an NHL position, but winning this title is important. And here's Soderblom on left wing and a shot deflecting it on goal, and the save made by Remy Poirier getting the starting goal for Dallas here tonight.
We hardly talked about Elmer Soderblom in the pregame, but he had such an interesting season last year, getting on the roster for opening day, obviously playing some games up in Detroit and ultimately going back to Grand Rapids, and it was needed. He definitely needed to develop, get used to the ice over here, but then he got hurt. So again, another big year for him, a big tournament and a big training camp for him.
And as we all know, he is a mammoth human being, and when he came down to Grand Rapids last year, Daniella, cracked me up, our bus trips, and we have a few of those in the American Hockey League. Simon Edvinsson sits on the bus every trip, and when Soderblom came down, guess where he chose to sit? With Edvinsson.
Oh, yeah.
6'7", 6'9", sitting in the same seat on the bus. Like,
could they fit together? I mean, one of them had to be hanging over the aisle, right?
Yes. Lots of leg room on those buses. There must be.
Yeah, really. Traveling in style there, Bob.
Right. It was uncomfortable just looking at those two guys squeezed so close together. Now Stars with the puck and across the line, but offside is Arcurian ahead of the play, and we'll get a face-off in the neutral zone with 1:38 gone here in a scoreless opening period.
Both teams, obviously that feeling out process. There's a little nerves too, as you said, Bob. They're trying to impress not only the management, some of them are playing for contracts and free agent invitees, so you're going to see a lot of good high-end hockey.
Here's her birdie walking in, a shot, he rang it off the goal post. Had the goaltender Poirier beaten on the glove side, but hit the pipe with it. Now back the other way, the Stars' Gardner on right wing will take a hit and deliver it deep into the Detroit zone. Puck wheeled all the way around to the near side. White hustling back for the Stars on defense. He'll play it for the first rounder. 18th overall, Bixel. Liam Bixel, Swiss-born Bixel. They cough it up at center, and here's a birdie who just hit the pipe a moment ago. He'll dump the puck down behind the Dallas net. Left wing corner, they battle. Wings in there trying to come up with it as it's Mianskum battling. He'll tap it down behind the net. Here's Carter Mazer emerging from traffic with the puck, trying to deliver it back to the line. That got blocked, but the Wings maintain control, and a pass in front for the one-timer. That one intended in the high slot.
Doucette to Kasper. So Kasper couldn't get on it. Marco is a 92 guy to watch out for. He also likes to get his nose dirty. Goes right to the net. I think he played with a broken knee or something. His first game out for Detroit, and kept playing.
Bob Bond kind of stuff, huh?
Bobby Bond, yes.
Bobby Bond recently
passed away.
The Toronto Maple Leaf, broken ankle, played on it for not just one game, several games, right?
Yeah.
As the play down behind the Dallas goal once again, they'll move it into the right wing corner. Doucette got it back to the point, but Gibson was backing up. He'll have to play at center. The Wings will need to clear the zone and do just that. As Gibson chased all the way back, now they work it up the ice, and here's big Soderblom across the line. Left wing to Danielson. Wings first rounder. He'll work it out in front, and a shot that got blocked, and now the Stars will romp back the other way. Up the left wing goes Antonio Strangus. Had it poke checked away, and the Red Wings in control. Here's Danielson once again, dropping the puck to Soderblom. Soderblom angling to the boards, trying to get it back to the line. That's intercepted to the Stars now. Marching up ice, Strangus on right wing. Pass got away from him. And the Wings will control down behind their own net. Flipped it around the near side. Did Finn Harding, the Mississauga product out of the OHL, Toronto native. He'll be returning to junior next year, just 18 years old. Now, puck is at center, shot right back in by Dallas. 4.5 gone here in the first period. The Red Wings battling for the puck. Malofsky had it taken away, and a shot from a sharp angle. That by Strangus right on, and a good save by Sebastian Kosa. Now a pass into the high slot. Off to the far side where Dallas gets to it. Big hit delivered along the boards as the Red Wings. Panette went tumbling over the Stars' Kyrou. Jordan Kyrou's younger brother in the lineup for the Stars, Christian Kyrou. Now back in across that line. Stars with it in a pass out in front. That's knocked away. Lines up in the near corner. Here's a feedback in front. Oscar Beck now got it back to Pixel and a shot, and that one through traffic hit a leg, out in front and carried off to the near side, and the Red Wings will clear it out of there. And Kyrou back to get it. Split last season in the OHL between Erie and Sarnia. Christian Kyrou, second round draft pick of Dallas. Here's Tuomisto with the puck for the Red Wings across the line, but Stars will stand him up, tap the puck back to center, and from there it's Wallander to fire it back in around behind the Texas goal, or the Dallas goal. Knew I was going to do that.
Oh, that's all right. You can tell the physicality's picking up a little bit now too. Guys are starting to take the body.
Red Wings in control, back in their own end. Here's William Wallander. There's another guy too. Art, you were talking about him earlier. Be easy to look at his one game in Grand Rapids a year ago and wonder if his kid have what it takes to make it. You can't base it on one game. He's just going to have to get used to the North American ice. He had a tough debut in Rockford, but boy, he's going to be, I don't think any question, a good one. Now here's White from the point for Dallas. A shot, the rebound right there on the doorstep and deflected over top of the goal. And Kosa might have gotten a piece of that. Art would probably agree that he made a terrific save there, right?
Oh, yes.
Got the glove on it.
It's the first thing he's going to let Jim Mill and company know. God, what a save by that Kosa guy.
Plays out at center right now, and the Wings in control of the puck once again. Will fire it down behind the Dallas net. Gavin White in control. One of the many Ontario-born member of this prospect team for the Dallas Stars. Now, shot back in. They'll turn, and Blumel, who we watched play most of last season down in Texas, the American League affiliate, the Texas Stars in Austin. Here's Blumel with the puck in front, backhand shot. That one knocked down, right pad, Kosa. Good save, and the Wings up with the puck. Quite a while without a whistle here as the Wings do set. Had the puck stripped from behind, and the Stars will send it right back in. Already 7.5 minutes gone, and now we get a stop and play and an offside call against Dallas.
Early on, it looked like the Red Wings were taking the place of the Stars. The ice is kind of tilted a little bit. Dallas finding their legs a little bit, but the Red Wings doing well. Sebastian's had to make a couple of really good saves, and we'll see the ebbs and flows. I mean, this is the first game of obviously the tournament here, but I think both teams have played pretty well. I love the pace.
Just love the anticipation. Seeing guys like Tuomisto among many who you've been hearing about all these last few years, Art, now to finally see them in action wearing the winged wheel. What do you got in a kid like Tuomisto? Of course, played at University of Denver, won a national title, then decided to go and play in Finland. Now in front, score! Elmer Soderblom on the doorstep. And you're going to see a lot of that as you did even last season. We certainly saw it in Grand Rapids. Big body, good luck moving him out of there. And he's got great hands. Boy, the upside to him, as I know Wings fans have been hearing it, and certainly in Grand Rapids as well, is tremendous for that kid.
Yeah, it seems that the new era of hockey here is like being on the not in front of the net so much as you're right on the side, kind of almost a backdoor play, and it's usually wide open. We saw that a lot. Alex Chason last year for the Red Wings did that a number of times on the power play, and it's interesting to see the way this game evolves. But that was a beautiful goal, nice setup there. Red Wings up 1-0.
Cross Hanas, a big part of that goal. We just talked about him and wanting to see him kind of make the comeback from the injury. So good to see him get on the score sheet there. Nice play.
And the Wings back at it. Amadeus Lombardi. What season he had in Flint a year ago. Now the Wings from a sharp angle letting a shot go. That one kicked away by the right pad of Poirier. Here's Tuomisto, stepped up into the play and now forced it back to center where the Red Wings will tap it in. Lombardi. Small in stature, but boy, huge in skill, no doubt. He made a wonderful pass in his pro debut with us last year, Art, and setting up a goal in his first professional hockey game. A pass that you don't see made by a lot of pro hockey players, I'll tell you. He's got the eyes all around. Incredible hockey sense.
We saw him at development camp. What did he score that first game? 4 goals, was it, Danielle? At least a hat trick.
Yes, it was a 4-goal game, I'm pretty sure, for that one. But it's funny, the biggest thing for Amadeus was he was used to say, actually, let's take a look at the replay of that goal first. We'll get back to Amadeus.
There's Elmer. Just goes off to the side of the net right there.
Not easy to defend either with his size, and he has great puck skills in front of the net too. So yeah, nice play there. But Amadeus going back. Oh, you got a
just soft hands.
Thought?
That's the thing about Elmer. For a man his size, he really has soft hands around the net.
Right.
Way back underway. What about his skating, Art? Everywhere I read, people question whether his skating will ever be up to speed, if you will, in the pro hockey ranks, especially at the NHL level. I have not found it to be as bad as some people describe it. Have you?
Well, it's kind of, he's guilty for being too tall, right? What do they say about tall guys? Michael Rasmussen, same thing. Rasmussen's worked his tail off on his skating, and he's obviously much, much better than when he first came in. But we have a tendency to forget. These are like 18-year-old kids that we're talking about. It takes time to mature and, get used to everything. And, I think Elmer's going to be fine because of those soft hands more than anything, and obviously his size.
I thought he moved well. The games we saw him down in the American League, and then the few that I watched him in the NHL, he looked like he fit right in.
Bob, he never looks like he's moving because he's so big.
Right, exactly.
It's those long strides.
Simon Edvinsson has some of the same thing where you feel like they're not moving as quick as they are just because their strides are so much bigger than the average skater. But they move well, both of them. That's
a great point, Danielle. And the one thing we noticed with Edvinsson, sometimes there's a confidence factor involved there, too. I mean, Edvinsson, for the first couple of months of the season with us, he looked good. Mm-hmm. Didn't look as good as a guy like, drawing a blank, our young
Mo Seider?
Mo Seider was incredible in Grand Rapids. I mean, from game one, you could see that guy was going to be a National Hockey League star. It wasn't probably about the midway point of the American League season with us last year where you're looking at Edvinsson going, he's going to be an NHL star.
Took him a little more time to get used to the ice over here and everything that comes with North American pro hockey.
Well, his first development camp, he was in Kirby Doc's grill the whole game. Chicago, that was their big guy. I know he has since moved on. And I can remember a couple of general managers that I know came up to me and said, whoa, this Seider kid is absolutely amazing. He was the best player. I know they don't keep a lot of stats during the development camp, especially ice time, but it looked like he was averaging almost 30 minutes a game. He was by far, but give him credit too, because he wasn't supposed to be 6 overall. Steve took him at 6 overall. And it has just been nothing but a wonderful marriage between Seider and the Red Wings.
Incredible.
You guys know opening night at Little Caesars Arena is exactly a month away on October 14th. We'll be dropping the puck, and you can be a part of all the 23-24 Red Wings season by joining Wing Wheel Nation. A limited number of full and half season plan memberships remain, so don't be left out in the cold. Visit DetroitRedWings.com/WingWheelNation and join today before it's too late. You'll want to be at Little Caesars Arena this season. You want to be there.
There's no question. This is going to be a real interesting year. The additions that the Red Wings have made, and then some of these young kids, as we said, knocking on the door. There's going to be a lot of competition.
Turnover. Doucette's going to walk in with a shot, and Poirier came out to
save.
Rob him. Good stop there. Good aggressive play. Heads up by the young goaltender Poirier, who until about 3 years ago had an airplane, Jim Mill was telling me, which gives you a sense of the career that he had. He was on a career path where he wasn't traveling a whole lot, and that doesn't bode well for a young hockey player out of Canada, but all of a sudden he's a late bloomer, I guess, is the moral of the story. And Jim Mill thinks he's got a good future ahead of him. Remy Poirier had a couple of really solid games against Grand Rapids down in Austin last season.
Well, I'm not going to say. I'm sure he does have a great career. I don't know if it's going to be in Dallas with Jake Ottinger in there.
Right,
so,
we got to see Ottinger. In fact, Ottinger shut out the Griffins back-to-back games, his first 2 games against Grand Rapids a couple of years back. So he is going to be something.
Well, I remember him with the development program. He is obviously a world-class goalie.
My apologies, by the way, to Red Wing Nation and especially to Mort Seider for drawing a blank on his name. How do you forget his name? Maybe the most dynamic player I think I've ever seen the 20-plus years I've been in Grand Rapids, you know, it wasn't just on the ice, the maturity, but it was off the ice. I mean, you kept having to remind yourself, this kid's only 18 years old. Way more mature as an 18-year-old than anyone I've ever met in my lifetime.
Well, all he cares about is winning. I don't know, he set the Red Wing rookie record for assists in a game at 4, and you know, he is, I don't care. Did we win? That's all I care about. And you know, he's a special player. He certainly is a special player.
Wings off the draw. Pass. Face-off win and was headed in the direction of Mathurin, but that one knocked away and cleared back into the Detroit zone where it's picked up on the left side. And Mathurin, Mianskum that is. The puck turned over and the Stars will dump it in. Our Curry took a good hit along the blue line. Bounces back into the play as the puck comes off to the point. Bertucci letting a shot go. That got blocked. And picked up now by Amadeus Lombardi. Surveys what's in front of him. Look out. Beck stole the puck from him, but deflected off to the near boards, and away go the Wings across that line. Now weaving in wide right, Lombardi. Good stick handling down to the right wing corner. They reach and tap the puck away. Coming up to Dallas here as the cross check came up on Lombardi down in the corner. Looks like Dallas will be penalized, and the Wings will have the first power play of the game.
You know, there was some question that maybe Marco Kasper might not be ready for Prospects tournament just because of his injury, but he looks pretty good. You can't tell. I think it'll, you know, so far he's all over the ice. You know, he's a physical player, and I'm wondering he should be out on this power play unit, first unit. And yes, there he is, 92.
Amadeus
Wallander,
out there as well.
Doucette, all these are guys are goal scorers. Lombardi, Mazer. Every one of them is capable, all 5 players.
Interested to see Carter Mazer out here too, because he plays a Tyler Bertuzzi-esque game, right?
Right. And Kasper out on the point.
That's right.
And letting a shot go right off the draw that found its way through traffic and on Poirier, who squeezes it. And we'll look at a draw to his left-hand side.
I'm interested to see Wallander on this.
Yeah, you had to be impressed with Mazer coming out of college to Grand Rapids, 6 games, 6 points. But the other thing that I really liked about him is just his tenacity and his ability to get under an opponent's skin. And he didn't care. He could be the most veteran player in the American League, and he was in your face those 6 games. I mean, he's going to be a fan favorite, Art, no question.
Well, yes, and Chris Draper taught him everything he knows.
Chris won't let you forget it.
Here's Kasper now cutting in front of shot. That got blocked. Wings forced the issue down in the far corner, picked up though by the Stars, and they'll wheel it up the near side, and the puck will go out to center. We'll look out. Dallas suddenly with an odd man rush, but a good play coming back by Kasper. Gets taken down behind the net. That's going to be another penalty here to Dallas. As a minor on the aggressive forecheck there by Maverick Bourque, and he's going to go, and that's a dangerous play. You certainly don't want to see Red Wing or anybody get hurt in the first game of a preseason.
Marco's letting him have it.
Yeah, Marco didn't like that one, but we can take a look at that shot on the power play here on our replay monitors. Important win right there, too. Amadeus was in the circle.
Right, a little screen, too. And a good thing there, I sometimes, shades of Dick Lidstrom, I mean, he got the puck through out of the point. You know, you don't see that a lot of times. It gets deflected, but nice
a little
play
5-on-3 now, Bob.
And we got Danielson out there, along with Hanas and Soderblom, the game's lone goal scorer to this point. 1-zip Wings, 6:39 to go in the opening period here. Tuomisto.
Almost a minute 20, 5-on-3 for the Red Wings here.
As the puck dumped back in, Malosky. Matthias Malosky playing the other point along with Tuomisto. Back at his own blue line to get it. Now to Soderblom. 56 remaining in a 5-on-3. Wings with a chance to pad the lead. As they've got the puck, Tuomisto sets up shot near side. Hanas with a one-timer. He ripped that one just wide. Rebound came back to the far point. Tuomisto plays it neatly now. Here's a feed side of the net where a shot from Soderblom from a sharp angle gets patted aside by Poirier. Now the battle in behind the goal as the Stars will emerge with the puck, but a good job as Soderblom right on his man. Forced him to turn it over, but favorable bounce for Dallas, and they'll tee it up and fire it all the way down with 21 to go in the 5-on-3. Winding it up across Hanas now. Hanas across that line on the left wing. Ultra competitive cross Hanas, and you mentioned it, Daniella. He is another one you have to be extremely excited about his future now. Wing side of the net, and Carter Mazer gets stopped by Poirier. Mazer on the rebound took a little whack at Poirier, and the Stars defense will take exception.
Bob, do we know, was Cross Hanas a Stars fan growing up?
You know, he's a Texas guy, but I don't
Yeah,
think so. That's a good question,
Yeah.
though.
Very curious, but yes, grew up in Texas, which we don't see all that often in the sport of hockey. So just curious if we knew that.
Well, he probably was, and
Yeah.
he probably has the Dallas Stars to thank for for hockey.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
his hockey career.
You think you're in Texas, he wants to be a cowboy. Nope, he wants to be a star.
Now wings off that draw. Here's Lombardi, a shot. He fumbled the puck a bit, and that allowed the Stars defense to get out in front of it. One penalty over, by the way, as it's 5-on-4. Wings working that puck around effectively near side. The pass, though, taken away, and here's Matej Blumel. Got to be careful with this guy. Across that line, Willander stays right with him. Good play there. And now Detroit marching up ice, and across that line they go. Just 11 seconds remaining in the other Dallas penalty. Wings now with it, dropped it back to Mathurin. Mathurin near side, a pass to Kasper. Good anticipation by Blumel, and look out, they're 2 now, 3-on-1. White on left wing, shot, score. He tucked it into the short side. Look back, that little look back into him, and it might have caught Kaser a little flat-footed as he snapped the shot behind him before he could make a move on it.
Well, I was just about to say, you've got to give the Stars defense some credit. I mean, Red Wings just didn't generate anything 5-on-3 and on that power play, and then the Stars come back on like a 3-on-none practically, 3-on-1, and Kaser gives up a goal. Knowing Kaser, he just wants to have that one back.
Well, I'm sure he does, but you're trying to defend a, like you said, 3-on-0 there. He's got a lot of things he's thinking about. We've got the back guy on the back door, a guy in the middle, and then ultimately the winger decides to shoot it. So that's a tough one to give up for sure, but a 3-on-0 is not a great situation to leave your goaltender in.
So what might have been, or what we thought would be a 2-0 game, is suddenly 1-1. That will not be a shorthanded goal. Just a couple of seconds for that penalty had expired. Here's Sawchuk now. Wings looking to get right back on top, and a good pass to the backhander in front. That one kicked away. Good save by Poirier as he stopped Finney point blank. Now Stars back in. Look out, centering pass. That one just a bit out of the reach of the intended target, Antonio Strangus. And the puck all the way back now to that Dallas zone. Here's Kyrou. Pass on right wing. Stars have a break right in front. Shot. Good save by Kaser. Shut the door that time on Kyle McDonald. And as the wings, Riley Sawchuk. The Western Canadian College ranks, Riley Sawchuk. As he lifted it in, Dallas with it. Back the other way, Murray.
And Riley, a distant relative, we learned of Terry Sawchuk, Red Wing legend, of course.
He had no idea when we first asked him. Apparently nobody had asked him that before, which is kind of surprising.
But especially with the name and the being from Western Canada, because I'm pretty sure that's where Terry Sawchuk was from, too.
Eventually we learned that he was a distant relative. One of the greats in terms of goaltenders of all time, as Wings fans know now. The Stars back in and they score. What a shot there by...
That was a nice shot.
Matt Semenoff, the Kamloops Blazer out of the Western Junior League, snapped it into the upper right-hand corner. I'm sure Kaser had seen some of Semenoff during his days in the WHL.
Round pick, very nice. He picked the corner there. Beat Sebastian glove side up high.
Speaking of hockey hotbeds, he's from Virginia. Leesburg, Virginia.
Leesburg.
So Semenoff gives the Stars suddenly a 2-1 advantage with 3:05 to go in the opening period. And the puck now down behind the Dallas net where the Red Wings forced the issue. Work it back now. Mazer in traffic. Tried to drop it off to Willander. That one winds up back down in the Detroit zone. Willander to handle it there now. They had the Tuomisto as we get a stop and play and an offside call.
Would like to remind you that this stream today, the Prospect Tournament as a whole, is presented to you by Bally Sports. You can watch your Red Wings this season on Bally Sports and stream them on the Bally Sports app. But again, let's remind everybody, you want to be at Little Caesars Arena this season. The atmosphere is going to be incredible, and single game tickets are on sale right now. You can score tickets for the upcoming season's biggest matchups, giveaways, and promotional nights. And of course, every home game you can get your tickets for right now. Visit redwings.com/tickets.
Who knows? You might see a George.
You might see a George. He is one of our biggest Red Wings fans. We know
yes,
that.
There's no doubt.
Penalty coming up here. Detroit, I believe. Oh, actually just an icing call, apparently. So we'll get a draw down to the right of the Dallas net. Looking forward to seeing Tuomisto. He'll be in Grand Rapids this year. An interesting career path, coming over from Finland to play at Denver, where he committed a couple years before, and then decided to go back and play in Finland. Art, that was an interesting move.
Well, an interesting choice. I mean, it had some people speculating that maybe he wasn't in the Red Wings' plans, but he's a big kid and he's a right-handed shooting defenseman. Those guys are at a premium, so I'm not surprised that he got a second look, so to speak, by the Red Wings.
Of course, a teammate of Carter Mazur when they won the national title at Denver a couple of years back.
I have a bone to pick about that. I mean, Michigan did not even get a power play in that national semifinal. So
that's right. I forgot about that. Go ahead.
So I don't recognize their national championship.
Lombardi out to take the draw with Gardner. Stars have control of it. Dump it down behind Kaser. Obviously going to be a big season for Sebastian Kaser, who spent most of it last year in Toledo. And he was as good as you could be down there after a little bit of a struggle early on. But, boy, he had one stretch there where he had 6 shutouts in, I think, 11 games, some crazy number that Sebastian Kaser put up.
But I saw him a year ago today in this tournament in Red Wing training camp. He's struggling. He struggled a little bit in Grand Rapids, as you said.
Yeah.
Struggled a little bit. Dan Watson, who was his coach down there for the Wall, I said the same thing. Then he put it together. And, I'm going to credit Phil Osair, the goaltending maven, so to speak, for the Red Wings. Phil Osair worked with him. When I saw him in the playoffs, and I went to most of the Walleye playoff games, Sebastian was a different player. He was improved. He really got it together. So I'm just very intrigued by him. This is a big year. I tend to overstate things, but I think he's their most important prospect right now.
Goaltending, as you know, is a fairly significant position in the sport of hockey. And you look around, the most successful teams over the years have always got a superstar goaltender.
And the Red Wings have addressed that, at one time. with Kaser, obviously, and now Trey Augustine, who's going to be at Michigan State. Saw him play for the National Club development program. Trey, also very, very good, has a huge upside.
Wings unable to knock the puck down along their own blue line. Stars rush in, a 2-on-1, but a pass failed to connect. Puck winds up in the near corner. Kaser had a great debut with Grand Rapids last season, gave up just 2 goals, went down to Toledo, came back up not too long after, and that's when he had that struggle. That tough night in Chicago, but boy, you just love the way he bounced back. Even seeing him after that game, Artie, young goaltenders like that, there's no way he would have had the attitude that he had. Most of them would not have had that kind of an attitude. Still in his face and understood it was one of those nights.
He does not lack confidence, and he's grounded in reality, which you need, especially with a goaltender, because you have to have a short memory.
His bounce back from that game, the numbers speak for themselves, because that was, even prior to the halfway point of the season last year, it would have been easy for him just to go into a drought and struggle, but he just bounced right back and just put together one heck of a season. His rookie campaign. Now, here are the Wings back in. Kasper, long shot right on. Blocker save made by Poirier. 5 seconds to go in the period, and the Stars are going to get the puck out, and they're going to head off with a 2-1 advantage through 20 minutes here at Center Ice Arena in Traverse City, Michigan. Tonight's Red Wings Prospect Tournament game presented by Bally Sports. A little chirping, I should say, going on at the end of the period.
Yeah, Marco,
training camp for us, too.
Yeah, Marco is not Kasper is not exactly thrilled with some of the Stars out there, and he's letting it be known.
Well, we get a chance to talk all night long about some of the prospects, those of you in Grand Rapids, Detroit, and all around Wings Nation. Some will be in Grand Rapids, some will be with the Wings, cross Hanas, probably Grand Rapids, but somewhere down the road, I think probably closer to the near future than further down the road, he's going to be a Detroit Red Wing, and he's standing by downstairs with Daniella. Oh, not quite yet.
Well, first of all, I really thought the Red Wings started this game off pretty well. I thought they controlled the play, a lot of fast-paced up and down action, and then I don't know exactly what happened. The flip, they flipped the switch, and I think Dallas had the better three-quarters of this. They were the better team. They came on really key. They seemed to really gain momentum because they scored right after at that minute 20, 5-on-3. Red Wings didn't generate much, if anything, and then the next thing you know, boom, they score a goal, and away they go.
All right, now we've got Cross and Daniella downstairs, so take it away.
Thank you, Bob. That's right. Cross Hanas joining us. He's playing after being cleared from an injury that made him miss the part of the Grand Rapids Griffin season. Cross, how you feeling out there after recovering from the injury over the summer?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been a long 8 months back to recovery, but, obviously I haven't played in a long time. Game setting's a lot different than what you can do off the ice for conditioning and stuff. So, I mean, not feeling it too much, but I mean, it's just good to be back in a game situation for sure. It's been a while.
You're on a line in this first game with Nate Danielson, who was the Red Wings' 9th overall pick in the 2023 draft. What are your first impressions of the centerman?
Yeah, he's great. I mean, I got to live with him all summer up in Detroit, and we've come really close. He's a great kid. It's fun to be around. I'm really excited to get to play with him this tournament. It's a fun time. We came from the same junior league and stuff, so it's been great, and he's a great player. Obviously, super smart, great on draws, and he's going to be a great player in the future.
Picked up an assist on that power play goal to Elmer Soderblom. He's also recovering from an injury, so nice to see the two of you link up on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super proud of Elmer. He was battling something pretty tough last year. He's come back pretty strong, so it's really good to see. Looks great, obviously. I mean, he's a big man out here. Not many guys can touch him. So, I mean, I'm super proud of him coming back, and he's gonna be really good this year.
Cross, we were talking about this on today's broadcast. Did you grow up a Stars fan?
Yeah, I was a huge Stars fan growing up, actually. Obviously, my best friend's dad used to play for the Stars and used to be the GM there, and then I had a few teammates' dads play. And obviously, just growing up in Dallas, we went to the games all the time. So, yeah, I grew up a big Dallas Stars fan.
Well, who was your favorite player growing up?
It's a tough question. I mean, Brandon Morrow was there for a long time when I was growing up. But I got to see Jamie Benn first come in and like what he's doing now there. So probably Jamie Benn was probably my top one growing up.
Incredible. Great to have you back, Cross. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right, Bob, back to you.
All right, thanks, Danielle. You want to look up the term rink rat? There's your player. When you want to define one, Cross Hanas. He and I we used to joke last year because I'm a rink rat. I've been, as a kid growing up, couldn't be at the rink enough, right? Cross is there, like, even after he got hurt, he would be at the rink. He'd be out one-handed shooting pucks because he couldn't, obviously, with the upper body injury, couldn't function. But he'd go out there just to be on the ice. I mean, he'd be there until 2, 3 in the afternoon almost every day. That kid loves the game of hockey, and he loves being a Red Wing.
Well, those are great stories to hear because those are guys that you definitely want to hear about because those rink rats, I can't tell you how many times they'll say, they have to beg him to leave the arena, whomever. They just want to be there. They want to get extra time in the gym. They want to go out on the ice if it's available. They want to shoot. They just want to perfect their game. Where so much they say, talking to several coaches, is that they want them to know, hey, it's good. We love that work ethic, and we know that the drive to get as good as you can be. Sometimes you got to take that step back and just let your mind kind of relax a little bit, and because you're putting maybe a little bit too much pressure on yourself.
All right, we're going to sit with Sean Horkoff coming up here in just a few minutes. Before that, let's take a look at Dan Watson, who, after toiling in the East Coast League, is the head coach of the Toledo Walleye, and what a job he did there. Just recently named the new head coach of the Grand Rapids Griffins, the primary development team, of course, for the Detroit Red Wings, and Dan Watson will be taking over the helm with the American League's Griffins, and well-deserved, no doubt.
At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Dan Watson as the next head coach of the Grand Rapids Griffins.
was my first professional coach after college. I signed with Toledo.
He's always just been super personable, a really good guy, and I'm really excited for him to be here.
We've had many of teammates who have gone down to Toledo over the last couple of years, and every time they come back, they rave about the coaching staff down there, especially Waddy.
So how old are we all? I'm 15. 9. 6.
6 until when? Tuesday.
Big birthday on Tuesday. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Want to come up here? No? You don't want to be on that camera, huh? Oh, come on. It's not that bad.
Some of the guys are here.
Yeah? Good, good. Oh, here we go. Good.
So we'll have your family in the front row.
Okay.
When we walk in, you and I will basically just we'll stand
Hang
up
out.
to the side. You go up and do your thing. Invite him up on stage.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for coming here today, and obviously a really special day for myself and family, and perfect.
I think we can fit this one. We got to get extra. Hey, look at this.
Look at that one. Here we go. Here we go. You're not going to see me yelling and hollering behind the bench, but a lot of teaching, a lot of making sure the players are comfortable in their roles, understanding what's expected of them.
Well, we are certainly excited and proud to introduce the 12th head coach of the Grand Rapids Griffins in the 29-year history of the franchise, Dan Watson. Well, excited for Dan Watson, as are anyone who knows Dan Watson is going to be thrilled. I'm sure Toledo fans probably not looking forward to losing him, but they'll be just fine. Dan Watson finally getting that much-earned opportunity to work at the next level. The American Hockey League this summer named as the new head coach of the Grand Rapids Griffins. And speaking of the Griffins, our general manager and assistant GM of the Detroit Red Wings, Sean Horkoff, great player in the National Hockey League, of course. Excited for Dan, right? I mean, he's just such a great guy, and he's had a great deal of success in Toledo, huh?
Yeah, we're really excited. I think obviously he's paid his dues down there, and he's just been a fantastic coach at that level for a long time. And I think obviously when we went through the process, we took our time and did our due diligence. But at the end, he was just the obvious choice for us. So we're looking forward to getting started with him.
Yeah, Bob, I've got to confess something. When I first talked to Sean at development camp, I saw him out on the ice, and I swear, I thought he was still playing. I thought it was a PTO or something. I go, what's Horkoff doing out there? And he was already an executive with the Red Wings. But, Sean, your trajectory has been pretty meteoric, if I shall say. But the question I wanted to ask you, you have always been, and I ask you this a lot, but on the cutting edge about training, and you kind of saw the future before anybody else. Why was that, where you realized where this game was going, especially training off the ice?
Probably because I didn't have enough skill that I could rely on it. I had to. I was forced to try to, obviously make sure that, I did everything that I could as a player to keep myself in the best possible shape and just surround myself with the best possible people. And that kind of philosophy has kind of carried over into management.
Is that something that you try to instill on these young players?
Work ethic for sure. Absolutely. I think it's no secret this is the best league in the world for a reason. And even the superstars, talented as they have, the truly the greats of the game are they're always the hardest workers. It's just no secret. So for us, it's a culture thing. It's something that we want everybody to live by and adhere to. So it's a main focus as far as looking for players, and then once they do become part of the organization, really instilling that in them.
Huge part, of course, of the future of an NHL team is the American League Development Club. Sean, I know you guys take to heart the fact that the Griffins have failed to make the playoffs the last 2 years after being spoiled for all those years, a couple of Calder Cup titles in a 5-year span, and now all of a sudden time to rebuild down there. Obviously, creating that culture of winning down there, that's where it begins. Certainly, I know you've been working hard this summer to make sure Grand Rapids has a winning team again.
Yeah, winning is a huge part of development, and I think in the past, I think now obviously with the bigger team, Detroit, going through a rebuild and accumulating draft picks, I think we are starting to see a lot of these young players starting to turn pro now, and And with that, you know, you have a lot more youth in the lineup than we probably have had in the past here in Grand Rapids, you know. So it is something, you know, this year you're going to have a lot of young players again. That's going to be in the lineup, and there always is going to be some growing pains, but certainly our focus is to, and you know, I think you saw with some of the signings, is to surround those young players with really good veterans, not just good players, but good people, guys that do things the right way, that are good pros, and, you know, put the work in each and every day. So, you know, we did work hard to kind of retool and there was a lot of changes down there in Grand Rapids, and you know, we haven't started yet, and we'll see where it goes, but we are definitely excited to get going.
Well, when you look at it, Grand Rapids, obviously the breeding ground for future Red Wings, a lot of skill on the Grand Rapids, a lot of high-end prospects, and I'm kind of curious, and Dan Watson, now the coach, Sebastian Kaser, who I believe is vitally important to this organization, his development, how important is it that he already has a relationship with Watson, and they're both on a new venture in Grand Rapids?
Well, I think, you know, the best part about that relationship is how far Coast came last year under Dan, right? So I think that's an important thing. I think there's a comfort level there. Obviously, you know, Waddy thinks very highly of Coast and, you know, pushes him the right way, and they've established a really good relationship that makes Coast feel comfortable, you know, and obviously last year you can kind of see the results in his play. So, you know, we're hoping that translates to the American League, but again, we're going to be patient with, you know, Sebastian. I think people, you know, he's a young player still, you know, and goaltending is not an easy position, but we just want to continue to see him to put the work in and just continue to get better.
Of course, very quickly here, we only have a couple of seconds, Sean, but, you know, things have changed throughout the summer. And still a lot of decisions to be made, but, boy, for Griffins fans who suddenly might see guys like Edvinsson and Kasper and, you know, Soderblom, beginning of the summer, I don't think you would have thought that was going to happen. Pretty decent chance those three could wind up in a Griffin uniform to start the season.
Yeah, you could. I think Carter Maser, you know, you saw a little piece of him at the end of last year. You know, obviously, you know, Tuomisto coming over Wallander. You know, you're starting to see the young players that are turning pro and they're ready to come in and play. So I think for fans, it's both exciting, but they also have to, you know, we have to preach a little bit of patience as well. It's a good league. You know, the American Hockey League is a very good league. I think that's one thing these young players all think they're going to come over and just kind of dominate, and it's going to be a quick pit stop for them before they're stopped in the NHL. But it takes time. I mean, it's a hard league, it's you know, especially to create offense in. So we're going to see a lot of new faces this year. It's going to be exciting.
You know, when you look at it, you just mentioned everybody. They're starting to knock on the door. The drafting's starting to pay off. I'm really curious. Wallander is a guy who not came out of nowhere. I mean, I called him like the forgotten prospect. There's so many guys now, but this is a young man who could really make a mark in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, he's a high second-round pick, so I wouldn't say he's all that, you know.
Well, first pick in the second round. I know that. Yeah, so, I understand.
Certainly, we have high hopes for him. You know, I think he's a guy that when he was drafted was physically mature, needed some time to, you know, for his body to kind of come around. You're starting to see that he's putting some weight, some good strength on, and it's going to be a good test for him that, you know, in the American League this year. So we're excited about him, but you know, we know there's still lots of work to be done.
Can't wait.
Great.
See you at the Van Andel soon.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sean. Best of luck.
Assistant GM of the Red Wings and, of course, the general manager of the American League affiliate, the Grand Rapids Griffins. So appreciate it very much as we are all fired up, as we all should be, both in Detroit and Grand Rapids and Wings Nation. It's going to be some fun around Van Andel Arena and Little Caesars Arena. No question about that.
Well, it's vitally important. You know, Steve has said many, many times that he wants these guys in Grand Rapids to be in the playoffs and get that experience. You know, the old overripe philosophy that we've always heard about the Red Wings. Well, at this point, there's a lot of competition on this, Steve. Steve keeps adding to the roster with veteran players. So it's very, very important right now that Grand Rapids, and I think under Dan Watson, it's going to be fine. Dan Watson's a great coach. I've seen him for years in Toledo. I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised if you're not aware of him as a coach, just how great he is, and he's such a good players coach. But it's important for whomever is down there. Let's just say, for the sake of argument here, it's Marco Kasper and Wallander and Edvinsson and Sebastian. You want them in the playoffs, right? You want them in the AHL playoffs.
Question.
You want them to have that run. Van Andel Arena is a great environment to watch a hockey game. The Grand Rapids fans come out in droves supporting that team, but they have to be a playoff team. If there is one edict, if I'm the Red Wings and I'm telling everybody in GR, you guys have to be a playoff team. You just have to be. There's no No reason why you shouldn't be with the talent that they're going to have. And number two, it's vitally important for the development and for the Red Wings development moving forward to have Grand Rapids be competitive in the AHL and be a playoff team.
And then unlike some unlike some markets in the American League, winning is important. Grand Rapids fans take their hockey to heart, and we did get spoiled winning those Calder Cups in a 5-year span, Art. So they're anxious, chomping the bit, hoping that Grand Rapids is back on top of the American League again this coming season, and all the positives that come out of winning. It's amazing, and we certainly hope that it'll be winning in both Detroit and Grand Rapids this season. As the second period, as you see, is underway. Daniella back up in the booth. I was going to tell you to ask Cross Hanas about his being tagged as a rink rat.
Oh, yeah.
You heard the terms oh, my gosh, the guys that show up early for practice and the last one's off the ice, hours after. And he loves the fact that he's referred to as a rink rat. He wants to be
Next time I get him, that will be a subject of conversation for sure. But I did have to ask him if he was a Stars fan.
And he was.
Yeah, big Stars fan.
Well, I think you crossed him up about he had to name his favorite player, and he did not want to.
Well, he probably didn't want to say it was Jamie Benn because Detroit fans don't really like Jamie Benn right now.
I think Dylan's neck is still feeling that, yes.
Yeah. But it is pretty incredible when you find that player that you get to see come up and enter the league and then have a career like Jamie Benn has had. You can't blame the kid.
No. All right, we're underway here in this second period. 2-1, the Stars have got the advantage. Detroit scored the first goal in period one. Elmer Soderblom on a pretty play along the side of the net. He positioned himself and had a tap-in goal. And then after failing to score on a 5-on-3 for about 1 minute and 10 seconds, Dallas did a good job killing it off, and then they would score right at the tail end of the penalties and add another one to grab the 2-1 advantage here as we play early in this second period. Sawchuk with the puck for the Red Wings on the near side. He'll dump it down into the Dallas zone. That one blocked and played by Bixel now in behind his own net. We mentioned young Leon Bixel, 6'5", 225. It just seems like the goaltender, not seems like it. Clearly, goalies are getting bigger, defensemen are getting bigger. They're still going to have a hard time, though, handling that Soderblom kid.
Oh, yeah. Even Simon Evanson says he's a mount of a man. And coming from a guy who's 6'6", that means something.
Looking behind the Dallas goal where the Stars will tap it up the near side. Red Wings holding it in. Now Dallas gave it away and spinning with a pass in front. Hanas, that got blocked. And the Stars give it up again. Wings walk right in and a chance and a good save. Made there by Poirier once again. Here comes Arcuri back the other way. Dropped it off. Big hit by Panette. And that one's going to leave Oscar Beck slow getting up down in the Detroit zone to our right. You got shoulder. Looks like he might be a shoulder injury after taking the shoulder from young Connor Panette. And now we got a fight, and Panette's in it.
Well, you knew that was going to happen. Wearing the C.
And a big right by Panette. Knocked down Grushnikov, who challenged him.
Well, you knew that was going to happen. You see a captain go down, there's going to be ramifications.
Well, Panette looks like he can hold his own a little bit out there. When you got to drop the gloves, you got to drop the gloves.
And especially, like Art said, he knew it was coming.
Of course.
He was looking around.
Yeah, he definitely knew somebody was going to come after him. I didn't think it was a dirty hit, though. I mean, he just caught him in the bad area.
I just, you watch replays of hits that wind up being suspendable, and you just wonder sometimes, Art. I mean, some of them certainly leave it to the experts to decide, but boy, big right hand there by Panette. But oftentimes the speed of the game, and you don't realize how small the ice surface is until you're down there, especially if you're in the midst of it. You play the game, you understand that. But as fans that sit in the first few rows, it's like there's no room out there anymore.
No. And they're
so how do you
and they're
avoid
stronger.
that? How do you avoid the collisions?
You don't.
I'm surprised there aren't more of those kind of hits, frankly. But
well, it's a testament to their skill level where they do kind of watch out for one another in a way. I mean, they're playing, for keeps and all that. I understand that. Although this game might take a real physical turn right now.
Yeah, that kind of
I think Marco's ready to go.
He looks good. They cleared Edmondson too, I believe, right? To begin playing again. Get on the ice soon. Here's Wallinder with a puck for Detroit. He'll let a shot go from the near circle. That one stopped again by the right pad of Poirier. Split last season between Texas and Idaho in the East Coast Hockey League did Remy Poirier. Now puck lifted back behind the net. Big hit by Soderblom.
He was great for the Steelheads.
Yeah.
He really was.
He was good in Texas, too. As I mentioned, we saw him a couple times down in Austin, and solid games back-to-back against Grand Rapids. Now here's Mathurin with the puck along the near side, tied up by Ertal as the Red Wings able to work it down low. Now weaving in behind the net. Lombardi centering attempt. That got knocked away. Played up the far side, and Gardner will pick it up for Dallas and scoop it out of the zone. Now takes a hit from Gibson. In goes Soderblom, stood up by Murray. As the puck goes sliding down to the Dallas zone, Stars will stretch a long pass ahead. That one deflecting off a stick and down behind the Red Wing net. They'll work it up the right side. Soderblom stepped into along the far side by Stanko, and that's the guy they're really talking about. Second round pick. I asked Jim Nill about it earlier today. Art, he said, yeah, he's probably got the best chance of any of these prospects to make that Dallas team out of camp.
No doubt. He's not the biggest guy, but he just plays, like I said, a real up and down game, goes to the greasy areas, isn't afraid to get his nose dirty in front of the net. You know, you like those players. It's what you want to see. Fearless.
Once upon a time, 5'7", 170, your chances of playing in the National Hockey League were not very good, but now it's fairly common to see the smaller players. Obviously, the game has changed.
Unless you were Theo Fleury, right?
Yeah, you're right.
That's about it.
You had to be a Theo Fleury in order to survive and thrive in the NHL. Incredibly exceptional hockey players. We all know, legendary NHLer.
Really, without question. I used to be watching him play for his size.
Oh, he was amazing. I saw him play Western Junior League, and you could tell he was destined. Even though he had that size thing going against him come out of junior, but he was just way, way, way too good to keep him out of the NHL. Now the puck is back in that Dallas zone. 5.5 minutes gone. We're in period 2. It's still 2-1 Dallas. Now a centering attempt. That one blocked out in front of the net by Harding. Here's Wallinder up with the puck now for Detroit. And he'll tap one up the right side. Sawchuk back to Wallinder. Good speed. Backhand shot. Good save, Poirier. That's a good heads-up play. You see Wallinder sniffing out the offense there. That's a good sign, Art.
Yeah, he moved really well. Hit it in between.
A little give and go.
Yep, made his move. Kind of ran out of real estate a little bit, though. A little too close to the goaltender, probably.
Look at that move. Out in front. Oh, great chance. And losing it at the last moment was Danielson. Now played back to the point. They'll work it right in. A shot that got blocked. As Danielson, his attempt knocked down. Get it back to the point again. Long attempt by Tuomisto. That one's blocked, and Bork took that one in the hand. It looks like he's stung by it as the Wings, meanwhile, have it. Hanas centering pass. That one deflected down to the end boards. And now played by Dallas behind their own net. Pass up the far side, knocked away, but Stars will follow up and clear it out of there. Now, Hanas broke his stick on a simple pass down in front of that Detroit net. Centering attempt broken up. Good stick work there by Sebastian Kaser. And
many times have you seen that? That stick breaking at the most inopportune time.
Broke it right on the wall, too. Very interesting time to snap your stick.
Remember back in the day that happened so often. The sticks were becoming so flimsy, and then it seemed like all the complaints, the sticks were, you didn't have that issue. Now it seems like we're going back to that again. You see guys leaning over on a face-off, and the stick snaps before they even drop the puck.
Go back to good old wood.
$9.99.
The old Hespeler.
Yeah, Hespeler, yeah.
Or Northland. That was
Northland.
That was the big brand in Detroit. I know that.
Yeah. That was the top goaltender stick. Louisville and Northland, yeah. I'll play down in the Detroit zone. Bob Kaser here, by the way, along with Art Regner and Daniella Bruce. An honor for me to have the chance to fill in for Kenny Cal. He'll be back with you for the remaining games up here in Traverse City. As the Wings have the puck go right in front of the net and on the doorstep, Sawchuk. What an opportunity. Terrific pass by Lombardi, but he just didn't make clean contact with it. Now Doucette reaching in, forcing the issue inside that Dallas line. Wings have it. Pass out in front to Doucette. He was tied up. Puck along the right side where Sawchuk will snap a shot in wide and paddle down in the near corner with Lombardi stepping away from traffic. Now he got it to Sawchuk and a shot right on. Good glove save by Poirier. He'll hold on for the whistle.
Go back to that nice setup we saw there from Amadeus Lombardi. That's a huge part of his game. He always considered himself a setup guy, but he told us that the Red Wings were trying to get him to think to shoot a little bit more because setup was actually always his first mentality. And now that he thinks a little more shoot first, he had an excellent season in Flint. He put up 102 points in the OHL last year, including 45 goals. So he definitely started to think that way.
And what type of player is he? He knew when the Red Wings drafted him, as you said, he was an assist man. He said, I'm going to score goals, and he did.
But still, we saw that be able to set his teammates up beautifully. Sawchuk had a great chance there.
Well, right. He's never going to lose that part of his game either.
Oh, Red
But
Wings
he definitely
dangerous.
wanted to be a goal scorer.
In and around that net. Sorry, Art, is the Wings putting some good pressure on now. Here's a attempt the other way. Dallas squeezed off the puck, though, and Tuomisto will take a look and work it ahead to Soderblom. Weaving it across the line, wide right. He'll carry it down to the corner. But nifty little move there, but puck got away from him. He's got incredible hands.
Yeah,
Arden.
no doubt.
Now look at that. He steals the puck. He walks out in front and trying to swap one out of midair, and an attempt in tight from Doucette. That just missed. Now an attempt from a sharp angle on a backhander. That one denied as Danielson had tried to stuff one in the short side. It came back to the point to Malofsky. Now Malofsky to Soderblom and a sharp angle attempt, or Hanas that was, and it's stopped by the pad once again of Poirier. Wings taking control right now as they try to work it out in front of the net. Malofsky, far side, can't get around the defense, but he still winds up with that puck. Good play there. We'll send it down in behind the Dallas net. Cross Hanas, up with it. Angles to the near corner, right in front of the net now, and a pass. Malofsky chopped it down along the side of the goal. Stars will work it around to the near side, but again, Detroit right there to pick it off. Terrific pressure by the Red Wings right now as they get the puck back to the line. Moving into cross. That one, Harding, a pass blocked. Look out, Harding out of position, but a pass ahead to McDonald. They off the skate, and the Wings again right back in. They go sniffing for offense. Here's a pass out in front, and that deflected away to the near side. And the Stars up with it now. Long pass to Blumel. That one deflecting down to the Detroit zone. Terrific last couple of minutes for the Red Wings, who are taking control here.
It's been their best stretch since early in the first period, really. They're starting to get their legs, getting dominant again.
Now Stars with the puck and a shot from the line. That's blocked. Here comes Lombardi back right in front of the net, and tied up on the play was Sawchuk. Is back the other way goes Dallas now. On the left wing, they'll pull up good. Drop pass to the line. Bixel feeds it down low. Blumel, a shot, sharp angle, and Kaser looking behind him there, but he had it and keeps it underneath long enough to get a whistle and a halt in play with 9:52 to go in the second period.
Let's take a look at that Elmer Soderblom chance from just a few minutes ago. Red Wings really pressuring. Look at him. Soft hands, like you said. Kind of ran out of real estate. He was so close, but he almost pulled off a nice little baseball move.
Well, he kept his eye off the puck. Yeah, nice little backhander. I'm sure Mo Seider would have been love that. Those backhand shots. Yeah, well, just great hands. I mean, we saw some international competitions where he would, world championships, where he would put the puck between his legs and score. I mean, Soderblom really has it. I think he could probably, if he wanted to, probably be a magician.
Bobby talked about in pregame, they normally switch goaltenders halfway through the game, and here we go. Halfway through the game, it's Jan Bednar coming out for the Red Wings. We'll see what the Stars do here
right
momentarily.
Now, it looks like Poirier is going to stay in there, Danielle, but we'll see. But yeah, Bednar, a fourth-round pick of the Wings, and expected to play in Toledo this year. He's signed with Grand Rapids, so he's under American League contract, but there may not be room for him in Grand Rapids with Kaser, and of course, Alex Lyon is anticipated to be that number one guy for the American League team in Grand Rapids.
You like the competition, though. Bring him up and see what he can do. He had a nice season last year, was able to put up some good numbers, so we'll see how it goes. And Poirier is remaining in net for the Stars.
Detroit has really, as we said, has really shored up the position organizationally as a whole. They're pretty deep in that position now. Don't forget about Jonathan Letherman, who was the ECHL's goalie of the year, former Michigan Stater. You know, he's actually in that mix too, and got to like what the Red Wings have been doing with their shoring up the net.
Bednar, another one of those large goaltenders, too, by the way, 6'4". I think he's closer to 6'5". And you can look at him this morning during the morning skate, and he seemed like he was every bit as tall as Sebastian Kaser, who, of course, goes in at 6'6". Big boy, and that's pretty much the common theme now, as we talked about a moment ago.
A little beefier than Sebastian, it looks like.
Hard to tell with these guys now with the equipment on. Ryan Miller looked like he was a big dude, and I don't think he weighed more than 150 pounds when he was starring in the National Hockey League. Another former Spartan.
Definitely a former Spartan.
Love our Spartans, don't we, Art?
We certainly do. And speaking of Spartans, don't forget Saturday, the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Red Wings at 3:30, and led by Adam Fantilli, the Hobey Baker winner for the Blue Jackets. Where did he go to school?
Remind us, Art. Remind us, Art.
In fact, just in case you don't know, he's got a brother playing at that same school.
Yes, he does.
Freshman, I think, isn't he? Just under this year, I believe.
I think his
in
brother.
Ann Arbor.
I think it's his second. I
Is
wonder.
his second year?
Second. Yeah, they were both on the team last.
Wings busting back in. Soderblom, nifty little move to the
Luka.
backhand, but again, the puck got away from him. Here's Tuomisto. Long shot deflected. Oh, that one off of Kasper looked like narrowly wide. As the puck now played by Dallas, and they'll work it up ice. Wheatcroft cutting in, a shot in a high slot. He snapped that one wide right. Now a long stretch pass connecting with Sawchuk, waiting for Doucette, dropped it off. Doucette goes to the backhand, forehand, and a shot again, stopped by Poirier, who's been awfully solid since giving up that goal by Soderblom, a goal he had no chance on. Now look out, 3-on-1 Stars the other way. Wheatcroft, one-timer score, nice give and go as he dropped it off and got it right back from Emmett Finney. That was Justin Ertel, I believe, and
I think
Stars
turning the puck over. Dan Watson's not going to be happy about that. I think that was Tuomisto, and the Stars have scored a couple of goals on almost on 3-on-1s, and that's, as Daniella pointed out, that's difficult for a goaltender.
Very difficult, and the Stars played that really well. A beautiful setup and a beautiful finish there. And just a reminder, our streams all weekend long are brought to you by Bally Sports Detroit. And we talked about Red Wings tickets. You can also get your Griffins tickets for the upcoming season. Come see the future Red Wings in Grand Rapids. They open their 23-24 season on Friday, October 13th. So visit griffinshockey.com for tickets and more information.
Look out, Stars back in. We're going to get a penalty here. Boy, nifty move there. As weaving his way right down the slot was Kyle McDonald, and he draws the penalty. Actually, that was Angus McDonald. Either way, penalty against the Wings. It'll be Panette going off.
Dallas has deceptive skill. I mean, when they get an opportunity, they really seem to be able to make a play, a good quality scoring chance.
This is the first look at the Red Wings penalty kill of the evening. We've got Nate Daniels at Tuomisto, Cross Hanas, and I can't see the fourth. Who is 54?
Wallander.
Oh, Wallander. It's Will Wallander.
Danielson, of course, as you know, the first round pick. Boy, about the best compliment you could get after the draft in which Danielson was chosen. Connor Bedard, who we played against in the Western Hockey League. And Bedard said, he was maybe the toughest forward I played against all year long. And Danielson was he was pretty jazzed up about that.
Yeah, he was, and he said, we're close, we're buddies. So that was...
Well, the thing about Danielson is he's one of the young players, probably one of the few players his age that actually focus heavily on their defensive game. Most young stars want to score all the time.
Takes a lot of pride in that 200-foot, and the word is on him. He's really good all three zones, and that's a nice sound to it. Also got size, skates well.
And this year, the expectation is that his offensive game will start to come around. Not that he doesn't have one, but that they're expecting a lot from in Brandon and in the Western League, and we'll see.
Also was the captain of the Brandon Wheat Kings, and very young age to be the captain of a team, so that says a lot about his character.
Which is not surprising considering what the Red Wings look for in a player. Character, high hockey IQ.
Soderblom got clipped with a stick, it looks like, and there's going to be a penalty to Dallas, but the focus right now is on Soderblom, who is
And I think there's
Slow
blood on
getting
the
up.
ice, so that'll be a 5-minute major, I would assume.
4 minutes. Yep, for high sticking on that one, Art. So the Stars power play ends after 1 minute and 18 seconds. And Soderblom will likely go in for some repair work as he heads to the bench right down below us, literally about, 15 feet away. Don't get to broadcast from this type of location in the National Hockey League.
That's right.
Or the American League, for that matter.
No.
Awfully close here, but
all the sights and
intimate.
smells.
I
right
was just
up
going to
here.
say, we're right above the glove warming machine, so the smell is just wonderful. But hey, it's hockey. We love it. We're back.
No one noticed it until just now.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
smell. That was definitely a topic of conversation prior to us going on the air, wasn't it?
Did we get used to it? Did we get used to it?
Blood on the ice over there.
I know. I hope Elmer didn't lose a tooth.
Well, for now, they'll play 4-on-4 for the next 42 seconds, and the Wings are going to be presented with another pretty good opportunity, plus 3 minutes of power play time. Of course, we talked about the turning point in this game back in the opening period when Detroit had the 1-0 advantage and a 5-on-3 and a chance to add to that. But not only did they fail to score, they wound up giving one up. It wasn't shorthanded, but it was a second or two after the power play had expired.
Right, 5-on-3 for a full minute 20 and did not generate, unfortunately, anything.
So 4-on-4, it'll be Lombardi out for Detroit. And he'll be joined by Alexander Doucette. Free agent signing, undrafted. Put up some big numbers in the Quebec Major Junior League a year ago. Now, Stars have that puck up ice, long attempt. First shot there by Strangus. That one stopped easily by Jan Bednar. Now, down in behind the Detroit goal. It'll be handled there by the Wings, who work it up ice and steer it back now to the Dallas zone, as the Wings now anticipating that power play to begin here shortly. Changing up lines a bit. Now Semenov took the puck away for the Stars. He'll lift it deep as the penalty to the Wings is over, and now Detroit with the power play for the next 3:10. And Marco Kasper leads the charge and across the Dallas line. Kasper dropping it off. Lombardi takes a look, now heads back to the boards. He'll feed it down low, right wing corner. Marco Kasper works it in, pass across, good idea, but anticipating that along the defense. And a good defensive play. Bixel, look out. Stars short-handed back in. Oh, good chance. And a pass across in which Semenov unable to make a clean contact with that puck on a one-timer. Now, here's Lombardi back the other way. 2:35 still to in the Red Wing power play. Here's a pass out in front. Lombardi, it got blocked, got it right back. Another attempt is broken up. Now Lombardi tying up his man from behind, takes the puck away. Good job there. Worked it back to the point to Wallander. Long shot. That one stopped again by Poirier. And Dallas with time and space, and they'll launch the puck the length of the ice with 2:05 now to go in the Detroit power play and 4:15 to play here in the second period. Still 3-1, Dallas on top.
You'd just like to see some sustained pressure and quality scoring chances, whether they score or not. Red Wings have not been able to get the power play
Linder
together.
trying to use traffic to sneak one past the glove of Poirier, but he had none of that. He grabs onto it and hangs on for the faceoff.
Yeah, with the man advantage, the Red Wings, and a two-man advantage, have been struggling to get the offense going. And you have to remember, these guys don't play together all that often. This is their first time as teammates, so they are trying to build that chemistry still. So hopefully you start to see it click, but you would definitely like to see more chances generated.
It's like the three of us. If we're stumbling
right.
over each other, it's first game.
Right.
Just pass it off as the first game.
I think it's going pretty well for our first game together.
I do too, because sometimes you have so much you want to say, but then again,
Well, that's just you.
You just try to take a step back.
Here's Tuomisto cutting in. He lets one go. That's blocked. And that one stung. As the puck played back, Tuomisto will tee it up and let it go again. Shot, score! That one deflected out in front of the net. Might have been off of the guy that blocked the first shot, and that one deflecting off the stick of the defender, Justin Hertel, and he tips it into his own net, broke his stick as well, so it's a costly goal in more ways than one.
Yes, without question. 3-2 now. Let's watch this.
Give the kid credit. He'd already taken one off the ankle and moving across, was willing to sacrifice again, but
And Tuomisto was shooting a lot on that. You know, he definitely was trying to get pucks to the net, and it paid off.
so Tuomisto, I believe, unless they saw something we didn't or something happened that we didn't see,
He'll
get the goal. I don't think so either. It clearly went off the stick of Justin Hertel, and now play back underway, so the Wings take advantage on that power play and get one to pull within one with 3:15 to go. In period number 2, as the Wings, Harding with the puck down behind his zone, wheel it around near side, held in, and Ellis launching one in wide of the net. Now Harding will try it again, this time connecting on a pass. Here's a rink-wide attempt for Doucette. That's off his stick. Stars busting back in. Here's Stankoven angling down behind. He put it right in front. Point blank attempt. Good save, Bednar. The puck chopped free back to the line where Kyrou going to hustle across and grab it. Kyrou, nifty little pass through. That one now back into the slot. A shot there and slowed by the stick of Doucette. They get it back in front again, and a chance for McDonald. He sailed it over the crossbar. Now Kyrou tapped it back to the line. Long shot blocked out in front. Lines up in the near corner. Here's Christian Kyrou. He tried to angle it in front, but good stick work there by Bednar. Reached down with that big goal paddle and denied him entrance to the front of that net. Now they'll battle for the puck in the left wing corner in the Detroit zone with 2:05 left now. In period number 2, 3-2. Stars on top as we come your way from Center Ice Arena here in Traverse City. Beautiful sun splash day, exactly what you expect here at this time of the year.
Best time of the year to be up here, without question.
I tell you, I just have so many great memories, as most Red Wing fans do. I think everybody's been up here at one time or another, and you can't help but harken back to those days in the late 90s and early 2000s. There was nothing better than getting up early in the morning and driving down here to the rink. Art and a sea of red and white, just about every fan, thousands of them outside the building wearing Red Wing jerseys, waiting to get inside and see the future Hall of Famers. How many of them did they have back in those days?
It was wild, but I do have to admit, Bob, back in that time, I did get up early in the morning, but I wasn't exactly, chipper, shall we say. Right. I was like, oh, I gotta go.
I was, amazingly, just because it was, the destination was, you just couldn't wait to get there.
It's true, especially with those teams and those fellas. I mean, they were high end, and what made them so great was that some of the best hockey I ever saw was those teams practicing, because there was so much competition on the roster. I mean, Scotty Bowman, I don't know what it was like 24-man roster, but he had a habit of always having like 28 guys around, and they were all playing for ice time.
Well, Red Wings up with the puck. Casper trying to tie the game, snapped the shot over top of the net. No Mike Babcock here today, of course, with Columbus, one of the NHL teams that are here for the Prospects Tournament, and stopped by to say hello to Art.
Yes, he did, actually. Yeah, Mike and I had a little bit of a chat, and Brendan Shanahan here as well. Of course, when Shanny sees me, it goes the other way, but no, that's not true either. But Brendan is here too with the Leafs.
When you talk about collisions, talking to Mike Knuble, of course, longtime assistant coach in Grand Rapids, lives in Grand Rapids, and become a friend of all of ours. Like Knuble talking about that collision. Remember that? Two huge bodies, he and Brendan Shanahan.
Oh, yeah.
Collision at Madison Square Garden. Well, we talked about how it's surprising it doesn't happen more often, Art, but that's one of those examples of, my goodness, two big guys on a small ice surface. Oh, look out. Here's Wallander with a good chance, and he had that far side open, just snapped it narrowly wide. Now, chance for Soderblom, and a shot deflected wide, waning seconds, and the horn sound. Good conclusion of the period, and really a good second half of that period, I think, for the Red Wings Art as they get that power play goal, and after falling behind 3-1, stop the bleeding after the had scored 3 straight, and they get the power play goal to make it a 1-goal hockey game after 2 periods of play. Take a look at a little bit of the action there at the end as the Wings had some nice sustained attacks, especially about that midway point where they had a 2-3 minute span where they completely dominated. Didn't matter what line was on, they just fed off of each other and had the momentum heading in their favor and eventually make it a 1-goal game. So it sets up for what should be a real good third period.
Well, Elmer, obviously, that was kind of his period. I mean, he showed his soft hands. He took a stick to the mouth and blood on the ice, but he came. I think he really has been Detroit's best forward so far. I mean, he really has. He's made a lot of things happen, generated some offense, and that's good to see because he is also coming off a little bit of an injury, and Elmer looks like he's ready to make a move. Maybe not to Grand Rapids, maybe to Detroit. We'll see.
Numbers game right now. The depth in the Red Wings organization suddenly pushes some guys, as we talked about, maybe to Grand Rapids, at least to start the year. But it won't be long, I'm sure, those that do start there right back up in Detroit. So for now, one of those guys hoping to make it, of course, eventually is Antti Tuomisto, who we talked about earlier. University of Denver championship team a couple of years ago with Carter Mazer. Decided to go back and play in Finland. He's standing by downstairs right now with Daniella.
Thank you, Bob. Antti Tuomisto here. He pulled the Red Wings within 1 to start the third period of this game on that power play goal. But, Antti, you made a big decision over the summer to go back to Finland and play rather than stay at the University of Denver. How has that made you better heading into this season?
I think I had a good season last year and got a little bit confidence playing back home and worked on some things I wanted to get better at. And I think that really helped me.
And you're playing alongside Will Wallander as your D pairing here in Game 1 of the Prospect Tournament. What do you like about playing with Will?
I think we're both smart players, and it's really easy for us to play together that way and find each other on the ice. So I really like playing with him.
It's an interesting thing you bring up, just trying to build that chemistry with teammates that you don't know that well yet. How has that gone, and how many of them did you know coming into the Prospect Tournament?
I knew like half the team probably, but you get to know them pretty quick when you play games, and you communicate on the ice and on the bench, so that's really helpful.
And just lastly, we've seen even an improvement from the first period to the second period. What do you want to see from your team in the third to hopefully come away with a win in Game 1?
2 goals.
I love that. Love that answer. Keep it simple, Antti. Thank you.
Thank you.
2 goals, Bob. Back to you.
University of Denver education there.
Really?
I love that quick
question.
response. That was great. He's one of those kids too. You talk about all the speculation, what to anticipate this year, Art, and we don't know. We just tell the stories and follow the lead of the Red Wings and Eisenman and company. And Tuomisto, though, will be in a battle as time goes by with the likes of Albert Johansson. Johansson's got an advantage on him because he's played 3-4 years of pro now, including a season in Grand Rapids a year ago. You got to think though that Tuomisto has got that upside that. Gosh, how do you not be excited about the Wings and all the prospects? Not that they haven't had prospects, but I think they have more of them because of this depth now. And in Grand Rapids, Griffins fans, my goodness, this is going to be a fun year.
Well, they're deeper. They're obviously, their prospect pool is a lot deeper than it's been in a number of years. That you have to feel good about that. And as I said, at the beginning of the telecast, is that when you look at it, with all of these young defensemen that they have, and all of them look like they have a legitimate shot of making a mark or at least playing in the NHL, this is a good thing for not only Red Wing fans to see, but for Steve and the group, with Sean Horkoff and crew, they're going to have some tough decisions, I think, to make but it's a good thing. And I think it's going to be sooner rather than later. All of them seem to have what it takes, the great mindset, great leadership, good character, high hockey IQ, obviously talent, skill level. I mean, it's all kind of there in a package. And so, they're not all going to be Mo Sider or anything like that. But I think that, things are looking good, especially on the blue line for Troy.
And there's some of those guys that, you don't hear a whole lot about. Suddenly you probably hear less about now because of all these, fast rising stars. Emil Viro is another defenseman down in Grand Rapids who came on strong at the end of last year.
Viro, and I wanted to say, Wallander was a high draft pick. He was the first player taken in the first round, or second round, pardon me, but he kind of gets lost in the mix because there seems to be so many of them now, Bob.
Well, it's a good thing, and again, it all comes down to depth, and the Red Wings are certainly doing a great job of creating that situation in both Detroit and in Grand Rapids, which no doubt is going to make for a fun year on the east side and the west side of the state, and just in Hockey Nation, Wings Hockey Nation. All right, we're going to take a break. We will continue along in just a bit. We're coming your way live from the Center Ice Arena in beautiful Traverse City, Michigan, where the Prospect Tournament is underway. The Wings trailing Dallas right now 3-2, but period to go, and we anticipate 2 goals as Tuomisto hoping for that as well, and a comeback win for the Wings. Stay with us. Back for more. This is the Wings broadcast coming away from Traverse City, all brought to you by Bally Sports.
Hey guys, it's Alex DeBrincat. Welcome to my new crib.
Let's talk a little bit about your youth hockey days and kind of what got you started into the sport. What was the initial push to get into the sport of hockey?
My brother played, and obviously my dad's a big hockey guy too, so I just followed in my brother's footsteps. I don't really remember not playing hockey, so it's been my whole life, and just kind of follow him, do whatever he does, and it's been fun.
Whatever big brother does,
yes,
little brother follows.
Exactly.
Do you remember some of your earliest memories playing hockey?
Yeah, I remember a lot, like in the winter in the backyard with my brother and my dad just skating out there, and that's probably some of the most fun hockey I've ever played. So it's just fun to go outside and play some pond hockey.
So everyone calls you the cat, but you're a big dog guy?
Yes, huge dog guy.
Bert and Ralph? Those are great names. To bring dogs.
Yeah. They're awesome. They just bring some joy to my day.
What kind of dogs are they?
Shiba Inu.
Oh, so they both are?
Yeah, both of
them. What takes up your time outside of the rink?
In the summer I like to golf.
Oh, okay.
Like to
naturally a hockey player.
Yeah, I get together with some buddies and golf, and that's kind of my time away, time to, I would like to say relax, but I just get more frustrated. So
I can't do
it's a love-hate relationship.
I understand that growing up, your dad would take you to Red Wings games, but it was at Joe Louis Arena.
Yeah.
How cool is it to think now that your dad, mom, and obviously your wife will be bringing your son to a Wings game to watch you play at Little Caesars Arena?
Yeah, it's definitely a dream come true. I think growing up, obviously, you want to play for the Red Wings, and it's the team you root for. So it will definitely be cool to put that jersey on and play my first game here, and hopefully play here for a long time.
Absolutely. Has Archie picked up any mini sticks yet?
Yes, yeah, he
really?
does. He has
does
one.
He like
yeah.
it?
Yes. He's always buzzing with it. He doesn't really have, the shot down too well, but he pushes the ball around. So I'm happy for him. Yeah, he's doing a good job.
Watching the Red Wings growing up, obviously there were a handful of championships.
When you come here and you see the banners hanging up, can you believe from a young Alex perspective that on this team?
Yeah, it's awesome. I think all the tradition here, like you said, and just the winning culture they've had, and to be a part of that now is definitely fun. Be a part of an original 6 team again is awesome, and for the hometown team, you couldn't draw it up any better, and I'm excited to get the year started.
Watching a lot of the players back in the 90s and early 2000s, now seeing them in the front office of the team you play for, is it kind of give you a different insight to kind of who they are as people, not just the players on the ice that you watched growing up?
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome to meet these guys, and yeah, I watched them my whole life, and now to get to know them as people, you know how good of people they are. It's definitely cool to see and fun for me, and obviously, you know, I think my dad's a little jealous of me meeting some of these guys, so it's fun.
How cool is that to see your name and number on a winged wheel sweater?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's you know, something I've always dreamed about. So this is definitely a cool moment, and you know, nice to see I have a stall here.
How much are you looking forward to this upcoming season playing for the Detroit Red Wings?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it will be a lot of fun for me, and you know, hopefully have a good year and be able to, you know, do some special things with this group. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Kind of to that, what are you hoping to bring to this team?
Hopefully a lot of goals. I like to make plays in the offensive zone, so you know, as much as I can do offensively, and also, you know, not be a liability defensively. So just try to play a two-way game, and you know, hopefully it works out like that.
That was like the perfect cliche hockey
Yeah, exactly.
answer. I love that.
That's me.
I'm looking forward to seeing number 93 out on the ice.
It's got a little bit of a playoff atmosphere here tonight, Jelly.
Yes,
it does.
Yeah, this place is jumping right now.
I get goosebumps every game we play here.
And isn't that just a tremendous scene?
Listen to this crowd.
This is the best place in the world to be.
Welcome back inside Center Ice Arena here in Traverse City, Michigan for the 2023 Prospect Tournament presented to you by Bally Sports. We're about to start period 3 of this first matchup for the Red Wings against the Stars. And some unfortunate news, Carter Maser will not return to the game this evening. Hopefully we will have more of an update for you post-game, but for now we know that he won't be playing in the third period tonight.
Oh, that's a shame. You certainly don't want to see that. You don't want to see anybody get hurt, but obviously Red Wing fans extremely eager. I know probably Detroit management too to see Carter Maser take that next step. He's been very impressive thus far in his young professional career. So hopefully it's you know, for precautionary reasons, and we'll find out from Dan Watson after the game as much as he will know at that point. You know, sometimes you know, they have to go in for tests or whatever and make sure. But hopefully, again, it's just precautionary because that's it's not a little bit of a blow to the Red Wings.
Well, let's be honest, like you said, Art, hope cautionary again. Don't want to make any assumptions, but they're going to take him out if there's any little thing that's wrong, especially in this kind of situation, because you want him to be healthy for training camp if there is at all a possibility for that. So hopefully just a little tweak of something and they're keeping him out of the game.
Right, and remember what Steve has always said too about this is that, you know, you're not going to win or lose a job at Prospects Tournament.
Right.
They just want you to get in, see what the pro game is like. Even though you're still pretty much playing against your contemporaries, it's when big camp starts, when you know, when the big boys show up, and you'll see what the NHL is all about. But still, at that point, I mean, this is kind of a good way to break in orientation. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. It's just him again to see that Carter Maser. Yeah, I don't even want to say went down because we really don't know what it is.
Yeah, we don't know. Just know he's not going to play tonight.
A little tweak or something, so they're just saying, hey, you know, I know you want to go out there, you know, you're hell-bent for leather, but just, hey, you know, have a water and relax.
Well, Antti Tuomisto put it so eloquently that he wants his team to score 2 more goals in this period. Obviously, that means he doesn't want them to allow any more goals either to come away with the win. But, Bob, what have you seen? Obviously, we saw an improvement vastly from period 1 to period 2. So what are you hoping to see in the third period that will get them those 2 goals?
Carry over from the last half of that second period. I thought they looked good. The power play clicked, and after kind of a miserable first period with that 2-man advantage that led to the turning point in the game, and Dallas had control, but the Wings seemed to come on pretty strong and carry that momentum hopefully into the third period. And, you know, how many first preseason games do you think have been in the history of professional hockey where at least one guy didn't get hurt?
Probably zero.
Yeah, I can't think of one. So
so it'd be pretty amazing if we're standing here talking that nobody's been hurt, and you'd like to keep it that way. But hey, let's face it. You know, these guys, as hard as they work in the off season, it's still hockey's a physical game, and early on, you're still kind of.
We saw Elmer come back out.
Game mode, right?
Yeah,
So,
Elmer came back out after he might not have a tooth, we're not too sure, but he definitely got hit in the mouth.
Well, yeah, he came back, took the stick in the mouth, and then made that play right at the end of the
right.
second period.
He was
hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, he was buzzing. He was all around the net in that second period.
I mean, really, I think at this point, and I'm not, being a savant here or anything, but he certainly has been Detroit's most impressive and best forward out on the ice so far.
You are a savant. That was a very savant-like thing to say.
Thank you.
Very
I didn't even know if I was using it properly, so thank you.
I'm actually still not sure either. You know, you got that Michigan education.
Well,
You're supposed to be able to tell me.
Yeah, somehow I did. Yeah, much of the amazement of my parents too. May they rest in peace. But geez.
All right, third period. We're ready to go. I got to ask you about the Corey Pronman piece in the Athletic last year, picking the Wings going into the season with the second best roster of prospects this year. Best. So get some thoughts from Art and Daniella on that as we are underway. All I know is that there are a lot of good prospects that we are certainly comfortable with and excited about. And we're getting a chance to see some of those here tonight. There's still lots more that aren't even here. You know, Palika is going to be eventually over here, and many more in the pipeline as the Red Wings now trying to get back and tie this game up as the Stars, however, Semenov has it, and a shot, good blocker save made there by Bednar, the big rangy Czech Republic goaltender. Deflecting it up out of play and a halt in the action with 41 seconds gone here in period number 3. Remember when Chris Osgood back in the day when he was a goaltending coach in Grand Rapids for the Wings, and sitting on the bench with him one morning watching Jared Coro.
Oh, yeah.
Big rangy 6'6", led the Griffins to a Calder Cup in 2017, and he said, you watch, Bob, this is the wave of the future. You're going to see just about every goaltender is going to be 6'5" and above, and sure enough, it's coming to fruition, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it certainly is, and that's why, again, going back to what we talked about Trey Augustine, he is relatively, I guess, by goaltending standards, he's like 6'1", I believe, but very, very calm, very good in his net, and I'm eager to see what he can do for the Michigan State Spartans this year. Again, I'm impressed with goaltending so far for Detroit. I think that they've really addressed their need organizationally from top to bottom, and so I think that they could be in pretty good hands here.
I'm starting to think you're becoming a Spartan fan because you really referenced that.
I love that. Get him, Bob.
Yeah.
He talks about the Spartans more than the Wolverines.
I like Adam Nightingale. Of course, Brandon Naranto's a Livonia guy like me, and so is Phil Osair, by the way, the goaltending savant of the Detroit Red Wings.
Stars sending a pass up the left wing that failed to connect will result in an icing call against Dallas. With 18-17 to play here in this third period. First game of the new season, the prospect tournament involving Detroit and Dallas. And as Art mentioned, Saturday you got Columbus, correct?
Columbus at 3:30?
3:25. We'll be live on our stream. 3:30 is Puck Drop, and your boy, Adam Fantilli.
Adam Fantilli, the Hobie Baker winner, is going to be leading his Blue Jackets.
That's exciting, but I'm just fired up that Ken Cal's going to be back.
Oh, stop. We are
guys.
too, but we were so happy to have you with us today,
Well,
Bob.
Kenny, the voice of Michigan hockey for a number of
That's
years,
right.
like 20 years before he became the Red Wing announcer, so I know he'll be fired up to see Adam.
Be a fun weekend, fun couple of weeks up here in Traverse City. As it all kicks off today with back-to-back games. Columbus and Toronto played earlier, as we mentioned, and now Detroit and Dallas. Red Wings with the puck and a long shot from the left point area. That one off the stick of Connor Panetta, who had a scrap back in the second period. Had to defend himself after a big hit that knocked one of the Stars for a loop back in the middle frame. And we all saw it coming, as did Panetta, and handled himself extremely well against the big Russian, Artem Grushnikov. As Daniella said, it looks like he can handle himself pretty well.
Yes, it does look like he can handle himself out there.
You almost don't need that anymore. The game is just really changing in that regard. But I think it's always going to be, at least the activities around the ice surface is probably going to be a part of the game forever, I would hope anyway.
We're not jumping from the prospect center to the main camp, but that's why Clem Costin is somebody I want to see.
Yeah, I know you're very excited to see him.
Yes, I'm very excited to see him because the way it was explained to me, he'll drop the gloves with anybody. And granted, we're not advocating fighting, but you need somebody like that on your team. And, certainly he might fill that bill.
I'm one of those old school guys, Art. I miss those days. I love the game. The game will always be tremendous, and it is tremendous. I still miss the old rivalry days, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go back to the Broad Street Bullies, but maybe I do. I'm not sure.
You're somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah, we had Steve Eisenman in town last week in Grand Rapids for the West Michigan Sports Commission luncheon and talking a little bit about fighting. It probably went on a little longer than it should have, but you could tell a little uncomfortable conversation, as is the case with most people in hockey now. We were talking about Probert and Domi, that rivalry back in the day.
Oh, that was, Steve at Madison Square Garden when they had the rematch, and Steve did the old belt move, the heavyweight belt move that Domi did. That was classic, just a classic.
Gestured awarding the belt to Probert as well. He should.
Yeah, that was a
pretty
great
good
moment, actually. Really a great moment in Red Wing history. Okay, I'm kind of fanboying out here, but that was just excellent. That was a great. Yeah, and the Bruise brothers, what can you say? I mean, for a long time, for long-suffering Red Wing fans, they were, along with Steve, were the price of admission.
But, what is it? There's a shot by the Stars from the right wing that's right on. What does it say, Art? And you and Daniella can both chime in on this, but, if you ask Red Wing fans, and there are thousands and thousands of them and have been for many, many years, but you ask the old-time fans, who are your favorite players in Red Wing history? Do you think that McCarty, Probert, and Kaser are going to make that top 10 list in the eyes of many Red Wing fans? And
I
if
think
they
so.
do,
I think so. I think,
And who many might say, depending on your era, what they're going to say, perhaps the toughest player of all time was Gordie Howe.
Yeah. So kind of a statement, I think, to how much maybe some people really miss that part of the game, right?
Well, it's a physical game. They're out there, they're skating, they're hitting, you can hit, you can fight still, but, obviously the game has evolved into a highly skilled speed type of game. The rules have been changed, but, you still need somebody out there to make sure that liberties are not going to be taken with your top stars, because they will be. They think they can get to you physically and throw you off your game. They're still going to do it.
I think back to the Grand Rapids Calder Cup team of 2017. Right before the trade deadline, we were talking about what are we missing here in Grand Rapids. We had a great team. What are we missing? We were missing a tough defenseman and Dylan McElrath.
Without question, McElrath. Yeah, and people forget, 6th overall pick of the Rangers.
First round draft pick.
He
could play.
Yeah, he could definitely play, and he was tough.
He was as tough as they come, and he was the difference. He put us over the hump. No question about it, Art. And again, that's a great example of, and things have even evolved more so since then. But 6 years ago, that part of the game was extremely important, and that Grand Rapids team's a great example of it. Adding him right before the deadline and just made a world of difference. And again, toughness, but that guy could play. And of course, he wins another Calder Cup with Hershey this past year. Did Dylan McElrath. Now play down in the Detroit zone, where the Red Wings have got the puck and launch it up high down the ice. Ice being waved off with 14:47 to play. Third period, still 3-2 Dallas. Now the Wings steal the puck. Sawchuk made a little pass for Danielson just out of his reach. Sawchuk still follows it up into the corner. Comes up with the puck. Bad bounce and a pass to the line, but a good play there by Wallander to hold that thing in. However, the Stars will get it back and they'll work it up ice. A pass that's a skate, but following up, Kairu's got it. Christian Kairu weaving in across the line. Looked like McDonald was offside. Now we get Sawchuk and Bischel going at it down below us here. And Sawchuk the aggressor, and he's going to wind up getting a penalty as he pops Bischel right in the back of the head, and that's going to result in a minor against Detroit and a power play for Dallas.
I'm wondering what happened there, because, so a guy wouldn't... But now everyone's challenging each other. Once the officials get it, everyone's ass.
We talked about Elmer Soderblom buzzing in the second period. He's off again here in the third. If you take a look at his positioning right in front of the net, he gets another, tries to tip it right there.
Just soft
He's
hands.
been great in front of the net. His presence has been very well known.
And he's an
today.
immovable object. You can't move him.
I wouldn't like to try, to be honest with you.
I would not. That's why I've never played in the league.
Art Regner, superstar hockey player. You could have been Connor McDavid out there if you would have given it a try, Art.
Yeah, if I would have had speed, skill, and about 8 inches taller. So,
were you that good?
I had my moments, actually. Hockey was the game that I really loved. It was like, you know how when you first start off playing sports, that was the game that I caught on to right away.
Shot off the draw by the Stars. That one clubbed by Bednar. I don't know if you noticed, but Hanas was having a pretty good chirping contest with Akari of Dallas, and that's something you'll see a lot out of him, too. He's much like Mazer. He and Mazer both can really get under an opponent's skin, and neither are going to back down from anybody. One of the many assets that Hanas brings to the table. He not only can play, he got personality, but he can get under your skin big time. He's got that sandpaper approach to the game sometimes that, like a Tyler Bertuzzi, as you pointed out earlier, Daniel.
Well, Marchand's been doing it for years in Boston. Look how successful he is. I mean, if you can throw a guy off his game a little bit, have him thinking more about you than than scoring goals or winning the game, then you're really quite a player.
Dallas right now at work with a power play, and 33 to go in it. An official count, they're 0 for 1, I believe, on the power play. Haven't had many opportunities. Here's Bischel now, who drew the penalty. He lets a long shot go, and that one rising over the crossbar. Winds up in the right wing corner. Blumel takes a hit, delivered the puck down low near side. Bischel anticipating. Worked it back around to the far side. Now Blumel, he'll give the puck to Bischel. 18th pick overall by Dallas this past year, just 18 years old. Here's a feed out in front, broken up, and Hanas will settle it down, tip it ahead to Danielson, and he'll take a hit but shoot it all the way down behind the Dallas net. Bischel hearing it from the fans here at the Center Ice Arena in Traverse City. They're still not happy about him, as they would have probably defined that play as a turtle.
Yes, a little bit there. And but if you're going to turtle, Sawchuk said, I'm going to the box anyway. I'm going to get a couple shots in.
Dallas fans.
Might as well make it worth my while.
That's right. Now the Stars back in, just 25 to go in the power play. Here's Sankoven, a shot right on. Bad save and a juicy rebound, but it's the Wings to pounce on it and send it all the way down. Look at Soderblom. He's got the puck. Look at that play. He misses an empty net. What a give and go that was with Lombardi. Oh, my. That was some kind of play right there.
I kind of like the Lombardi-Elmer connection, which you could be seeing in GR.
And here's Maverick Bork back in and a shot, and Bednar fights that one off, and now another penalty coming up against Detroit, I believe. And the Stars are going to go right back to work on a power play, roughing call. Soderblom's the guy that's going to go.
Okay, that play. Wait, yes, but that's Soderblom. We talked about his skating earlier. Dallas defenseman had a huge lead on Elmer to the corner to get that puck, and Elmer beat him there. So you want to question his skating, look at a play like that. He hustles, he gets down there, he wins the puck and creates a scoring opportunity for Detroit.
Well, even long strides, right?
Yeah, it has to be. I'm telling you, because he really didn't look like he was moving all that fast, but he got there quick.
Sure, you asked the Dallas defender, where did he come from?
Sawchuk busting up the right wing, great drop pass, right in front. Wings Kasper cutting in, but ran out of real estate there as the puck now free behind the Dallas net. As the Stars are back to work, another power play, back-to-back chances to add to their 3-2 lead with 11:52 to go in this third period. That's exactly why I questioned that earlier. I mean, we saw enough of Soderblom at the American League level. He didn't look out of place at all in regards to skating. Here's a shot from the right wing circle, blocker to side by Bednar, and out of play with 1:26 remaining in the Stars' man advantage.
Reminder that this weekend's streams are brought to you by Bally Sports, and we're excited to be here all weekend long. The Red Wings' next game will be Saturday at 3:30, taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Got some star power in that Blue Jackets lineup.
They do. Not only Anna Fantilli, I mean, I know you think I'm Fantilli obsessed, but I'm not.
I don't think you're Fantilli obsessed. I know you are.
Well, Bixel, every time he touches that puck, is hearing it from the fans.
Oh, yeah, he gets out. You're right, Bob. He gets out on the ice and they're booing it.
Now Strangus back in with a feed across, blocked by Finney's outstretched stick. Good play there, and the Wings have got the puck and lifted the length of the playing surface with 54 seconds now to go in the Detroit penalty. And Danielson, good play, showing some of that excellent play in the neutral zone and the attack zone. And a penalty killing role, defensive hockey that he takes a ton of pride in. Now Stars back up ice. Wheatcroft on left wing will dodge the hit from Harding, wheel it down low, played back to the right point now. Here's Stankoven, who walks in left circle, feeds it across for the one-timer. Oh, great glove save. Bednar is moving from right to left, and he makes a terrific glove stop there to keep the Wings within one.
Great move, great lateral move, the way he anticipated it. Nice save there by Detroit goaltender.
See our good friend Alden Hirschfeld behind the net, assistant coach in Toledo. Played a little bit in Grand Rapids, wonderful guy.
7 years, this penalty seemed to have lasted like 30 minutes.
Down to 17 seconds now as we're just about halfway into the third period, and the Wings still remain behind by one. Should get some energy off of what looks to be back-to-back penalty kills here as the puck taken away, lifted down the ice, and that'll do it. Emerging from the penalty box below, Soderblom, and he'll join the play. Wings steal the puck right in front. A chance for Hanas. He fanned on it, though. And Dallas with the puck, and a pass bouncing around its center. Look at that nifty little move by Soderblom. Almost stepped away from the defense.
He's all over the ice. He certainly wants to make a statement. So far, he has.
Now Hanas on left wing. They'll work it up ice. Here's Soderblom. Right from the right side to the inside he goes, but Stars stayed right with him and bumped him off the puck, and Dallas with the puck, but Soderblom right back into the play, and he lays out Stankoven as the Red Wings now busting back in and left wing. Here's Mathurin with the puck in traffic, knocked it free. Soderblom angles down behind the net with a pass in front, intended for Kasper, blocked. Kasper got it back, right point. Gibson's going to hold it in. Now down low, Hanas turning in a centering attempt. That got blocked as Kasper steps into his man along the end boards, but the Stars able to head up ice, and a pass along the blue line taken away. Another attempt blocked, and Gibson makes two good, solid defensive plays there. And now Detroit almost a 2-on-1, but a good effort there defensively for Dallas. As Tristan Bertucci stepped in, broke up the play. 8:45 to go now. Third period, still 3-2 Dallas. Down in the far corner, Doucette. Got it back to the line now. Give and go right in front. Oh, and a chance there for Kasper, deflected away. It came off to the side of the goal. Good follow-up by Kasper. Got a chance on the short side, but stopped by Poirier.
Jan Bednar net for the Red Wings right now, and he made an incredible save just a short few moments ago, going side to side there. We talked about how deep the competition's going to be for the goaltending position and whether he will be able to earn a spot in Grand Rapids or not, but he came to impress in this prospect tournament.
Even if he goes down to Toledo, the ECHL is a much better league than it used to be. Obviously, Sebastian Kaser perfected his game a little bit and got better down there. So, he could be in Toledo, which could also be beneficial to him. Another thing I find interesting here, if this score remains the same, when do you think Dan Wanson will pull his goaltender? You see some guys pull with 4 minutes left, 3. Some don't even do it until like the bitter end. But I'm kind of.
I'm going around the 3-minute mark.
I would say
they're buzzing right now. They look pretty good, so I'm going around the 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'm thinking the 3-minute mark too. That Dan's going to pull his goalie.
Not sure. I don't know Dan. I don't know Dan well enough just yet. Ben Simon, back in the day, 3-4 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In these circumstances.
If I was behind the bench, I'm pulling him now. Screw it. Let's go. 8.5 left. Let's go.
Sometimes I see Jeff Lashley used to pull a goalie with 8 minutes left. I was like, whoa, Jeff, I know you might be upset right now, but.
Here's a chance off the draw. Good save by Poirier and the one-timer by Harding. Harding got it back. He'll let a wrister go. A right pad save once again by Poirier. As the Wings dig the puck out from behind the net. Lombardi in there. But taken away, and Dallas will move it up ice. Right to left across that line. Here's Strangus. He's got great speed. Now turning with a centering attempt. That got blocked. Wings on the move. Back the other way. Lombardi on left wing will chip it in. Go get it himself. But rubbed out of the play behind the net. Good play there by Stars defenseman Kyrou. Wings go in, get the puck back to the point. Long shot in and out of the glove of Poirier. Kyrou right there, though, to pick it up, cover it up, and send it out to center. 7:36 to play, period number 3. As the Wings back to get the puck in their own end. Dallas changing it up. Long pass ahead. Gobbled it up by Sawchuk, and across that line, he'll shovel it down the right wing boards, deep into Dallas territory. Stars will tap it around to the far side and play it now as Blumel will get across the Detroit line. A shot, and Bednar fought it off. Whoa. And then makes a terrific save on the rebound. That one batted out of midair along the side of the net, and Bednar made a great save. Puck loose, look out, dangerous in front again. A shot, and that knocked away.
Right, lost sight of the puck, but made himself as big as he could.
He is big. As we mentioned, 6'4". Has been solid since entering the game and at the halfway point. In fact, I don't think they scored on him, right?
I think they scored early on. I thought they scored right when he came in. I don't know if it was a power play or not. I could be wrong, though, and it could have been on his first shot, too.
I like Danielson, too. He's just kind of a real calm confidence about him, doesn't
Quietly goes about his business.
He
exactly.
surveys and surveys. He just real methodical player. Obviously very cerebral. Is getting certainly some good impressions with him in his first stint in a Wings uniform. Now Detroit heading into that Dallas zone. A pass along the side of the goal, unable to come up with it. Was Alexander Doucette. Now he goes right back in, trying to make a play behind the net. Ran into traffic, though. Doucette still in there wreaking havoc as the Wings, meanwhile, Kasper up with the puck and a wraparound attempt stopped by Poirier, and Dallas will pick it up and tap it up the right wing boards out to center where Blonde spots Gibson. Dropped it off. Gibson now, the defenseman, streaking in across that Dallas line. Wheeled the puck in the left wing corner. Kasper will go get it. Out of the point, long shot, and that one tipped narrowly wide out in front. Is letting that one go from long range was Panette. And now Dallas will, while the Wings change lines, have some time and space in their own end. They'll stretch a pass ahead. Wheatcroft into the zone. Shot from the left wing circle. Easy glove save there by Bednar, who holds on for the whistle with 5:11 to play in regulation time.
Pretty even period thus far. Both teams. Nice up and down action. Good physical play. Some quality scoring chances on both ends. The Red Wings are going to have to turn it up a notch now.
Some of the others we haven't really had a chance to talk about. Obviously, so many to talk about. Pretty tough to get all the names in. But Jared McIsaac is another one on the defensive side of the puck. Obviously a tough break for him to deal with injuries back-to-back seasons. Missed a ton of hockey. But boy, I'll tell you, he can play. There's no doubt he's got NHL skills.
Well, finally he's healthy, as you said, Bob. I mean, there was a guy that just couldn't catch a break injury-wise, and good, solid player. And the Red Wings saw something. I mean, they signed him again. I mean, they saw something in him.
Now the Wings weaving out in front and there. Backhand shot from in tight by Mianscom, stopped, and Dallas settling it down. They'll work it ahead to Kyrou. Crosses that center red line and lifted it down to the Red Wing zone, near corner to our left. Now steered behind the net where Red Wings will pick it up, and Connor Panette out of the Ontario Junior League with the Barrie Colts. lifted it away. Dallas shot it right back in. 4:14 now to play in regulation. Now we're at that point where you start watching goaltender Bednar and what Dan Watson will do in terms of, does he pull him soon or wait until the last couple of minutes? We're down to 4 minutes to go now. There's the puck rolling around in the far corner. Emmett Finney for Detroit tapped it free. Dallas still rubbing Uberti off the puck behind the net, and they'll lift it away to center.
43 seconds and counting before we hit that 3-minute mark.
Still think 3 minutes?
Yes.
See if Bednar's looking towards the bench, which he is not right now, so maybe he doesn't anticipate it. And here's a pass across to Kasper, deflecting up over the glass and out of play.
Well, he kind of glanced over there.
Now he's looking.
Yeah. I don't have water is what he's saying. No, I'm not coming out.
Pointed a finger as though they want him out now, but with the face-off still at center, I can imagine that's going to be the case. And mask back on. They'll drop the puck outside that Dallas line with 3:24 to go. There's Mathurin blocking a Dallas pass at center, and the Wings shoot it in, but out of the net is Poirier, the goaltender, to wheel it around the boards, and now Stars will bust in. Pass into the skates, though, of the intended target there, Semenov. Puck came into the high slot, where it's pulled free by Elmer Soderblom. Soderblom in across that line to squeeze through the defense, unable to do so. Under 3 to go, and the goalie's still in there.
Still in there. Red Wings controlling the play, though, at Dallas end. He's looking. He is definitely looking.
As the Wings step back in. The left wing corner, you can hear some barking from the Red Wing bench towards the goaltender. He's still there, though. Now Detroit putting on some pressure. Shot of the net, a chance, point blank, and that never got through. As Bednar still deep in his net, not appearing as though he's coming out anytime soon. And
like very deep.
Here's Wheatcroft now for Dallas the other way, and a shot blocked by the Red Wing defense and cleared to center ice.
You got to think pretty soon here, as soon as the Red Wing control the play and get back in that Dallas end. He's out.
Now left side, Dallas up with the puck in the Detroit zone. Wings, though, take it away, and Lombardi working it ahead on left wing. They'll carry it in.
Bednar's got his stick up. He's looking, but still, again, in the net, but Dallas is controlling the play, coming back down to the Detroit end.
And Kyrou works it in. Pass across for the one-timer. They fanned on it. Stars maintain control and tamp it down low in the corner where the Red Wings had it. Look out, they gave it away, and a shot out in front. Good recovery there by Tuomisto to deflect that one over top of the net. And Tuomisto's got the puck, and we'll take a look. You've got to think Bednar's going to go, and there he goes to the bench, and the Wings have got the extra man on. Look out, though, Dallas breaking up the play, and good patience with the puck there. Stankoven, and a long shot. They score from center into the empty net. Matej Blumel with the goal that will pad the Dallas advantage. 2 goals. Dallas lead now with 1:11 to go in this third period.
Yeah, just well, you know, it's risky, and Dallas made the Red Wings pay rather early on. Nice shot, though, too, from just beyond center ice, off to the left side. But a nice goal, nice shot, and really he kind of buried it. There was no doubt once he left his stick going in.
Well, we talked about Stankoven as one of the real big prospects for this Dallas Stars team. It was his play, really, in traffic. Great patience with that puck, and eventually gave it to Blumel.
Right, and he's been rather quiet, which I was surprised tonight. So, but
under a minute
on the
now,
line, he made a play.
Yeah, under a minute remaining as the Stars look as though they'll take game 1 of this tournament. Up 4-2 with 42 seconds left. Bednar, by the way, back on the bench, so the net in the wing zone to our left is empty. Here's a long attempt. That one, Gibson might have gotten a piece of that and tipped it just wide.
Changed the direction of it, because that looked like it was a beeline for the net, too.
Here comes Soderblom back in. Right side, Soderblom wheeling around. He's got the puck in the right wing corner. Tied up by Kyrou now. Picked up along the end boards by Danielson, who got it back to the right point to Tuomisto. Now Danielson threw it right through the goal mouth. That one caroms off to the far side. The puck bouncing around, just 3 seconds to go, and a centering attempt blocked, and that'll do it. Horn sounds, buzzer sounds to end this one. And the Stars, after falling behind early, 1-0, scored 3 straight. Wings made it a 1-goal game until the end when Dallas puts it away into an empty net, and they claim the 4-2 victory.
Yes, I would say this. I mean, if you look at it, it'd be interesting to see what Dan Watson has. This couple of really glaring turnovers, which resulted in 3-on-1s by the Dallas Stars, and they capitalized each time. Maybe the difference in the game, and then the Red Wings had a 5-on-3 for 1:20 in that second period and just did not capitalize on it. As soon as those penalties expired, Dallas came within seconds, Bob, as you said, and scored a goal. And they really seemed to control play. But Detroit came back, though, too, on a couple of times. And they just, they made a game out of it. I thought for a first time out, I thought both teams played pretty well. There's a little sloppiness, as I said. Turnovers are something Red Wings are going to, I'm sure, stress and try to clean up on.
We'll have a couple of days to do that, or at least one day anyway, before resuming action on Saturday against Columbus. As the team's acknowledging the crowd, although I think there was still some booing for the young defenseman Leon Bixel of the Dallas Stars, who did not sit favorably with the fans here in Traverse City after a little skirmish.
But Ben Nash was talking to him after the game. I mean, they were talking at center ice. I'm not sure what's going on.
All right, Elmer Soderblom obviously is going to be trying to make that, to get back into that Wings lineup after heading down to Grand Rapids towards the end of last season. And he certainly was impressive here tonight in Game 1 of this tournament, and Daniella's got him downstairs.
Thanks, Bob. Elmer, first things first, how's that lip feeling?
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
It's all right?
Yeah.
All right, that's good to hear. An interesting year for you last year after making the Wings roster on opening night and then ending the season in Grand Rapids and ultimately finishing with an injury. How are you feeling heading into this prospect tournament and training camp, and where do you think you've improved?
Yeah, I feel good. You know, I've been working really hard this summer to get back in shape after all the injuries. So, yeah, I feel good, and I feel I'm improving every single game.
And then tonight in Game 1, despite the loss, we saw your team play a little better as the game went on. Obviously, some things you'd like to tighten up, but what are some of the things you liked from Game 1?
Yeah, I think we had a good offense, a lot of also on time. I just think we got to score on the chances. I had a couple of chances myself that I missed, so yeah, we got to score a little more goals here to win.
And just a quick comment on playing alongside Cross Hanas and Nate Danielson as your line mates here tonight.
Yeah, 2 really good players. It's easy to play with those kind of guys who are skilled and works hard, so yeah, it's super fun.
All right, well, thank you, Elmer. Good luck the rest of the tournament.
Thank you, thank you.
Bob, Art, back to you guys.
Thanks, Daniella. She was standing on a chair, by the way.
I was wondering because she was afraid of interviewing Elmer because she thought all you would see is the microphone and not Daniella. But, yeah, certainly it all turned out well. And I think that, you could see, I mean, Elmer's focused. That's what I got out of this. He's focused. It's a loss, of course. It's the Prospects tournament. But as I said earlier in the broadcast here, he wants to make a statement. And nothing against Grand Rapids or GR. I mean, his statement is, I want to be a Red Wing. I want to be in the Red Wing lineup. And his best opportunity is to continue to play like he did tonight and carry over for the 2 remaining games. And then, obviously, next Thursday when the Red Wings hit the ice a week from today here in Traverse City. And then, they play, a lot of, they break camp on the 25th. On the 26th, they're back home against Pittsburgh. First preseason game, and then they come fast as always before they open up the season in New Jersey. So it'll be interesting to see. Jobs are available, but they're not as available as they once have been because this roster has been retooled. It's deeper, it's better. There's a lot of quality NHL talent on the Red Wings now, guys that have proven themselves in the league. Yet, I think Albert, or pardon me, Elmer. Well, Albert Johansson too, but I think that Elmer Soderblom is definitely, without question, going to make a push.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. He's just a remarkable hockey player, given his size. And again, I question, those that say he can't skate. I don't know where that comes from. At least, and again, there's the pace of play at the NHL, American League level. There's a difference. Although the American League is a great league, as Sean Horkoff told anybody who's seen an American League game, Griffin's game, it's great hockey. But there is a bit of a different pace in the American League. He looks just perfect. He's just fine. Maybe got to step it up a little bit in the NHL, but those hands that he's got, the smarts he's got, I mean, man, how do you not be fired up about a 6'9" forward that has an opportunity to score 30, 40 goals in the National Hockey League?
You're so right, Bob. I mean, I've said this for years about Michael Rasmussen, his hand-eye coordination for a man his size. That is such an advantage because I think what happens is, and we talked about Elmer's stride, is that for whatever reason, you get lapsed or you get caught up in the game. And one thing that he has going for him, too, that we haven't talked about, just like Michael Rasmussen, is their reach. They're able, because they're big guys. They're I don't know, their wingspan are like 9 feet or something. But I mean that's impressive, and that's something to have. And they utilize every tool that they have in their toolkit. It seems to Elmer seems to know. He knows who he is. He knows what his game is. He has that hand-eye coordination. I just think that he was impressive here tonight. But again, not to be too redundant here, I think what he was trying to say is, I want to be a Red Wing. I think exactly that's his storyline tonight is, I'm going to do everything within my power to prove to you guys that I belong in the red and white.
He made that great play down here, too. Just methodically picked off a pass anticipated. Great heads-up play, smart hockey play, and turned into a good scoring chance. But, very impressive. But it's not all about Elmer Soderblom. There are lots of others, as Red Wing fans have been following closely for the last couple of years as Steve Yzerman continues to build this team, rebuild this team, and get to the playoffs, which, gosh, you can't help but think there's an awfully good chance they're going to be there this year, Art.
Right. Well, certainly. I mean, I think they have an opportunity. Obviously, I think most people are kind of looking at the Atlantic Division, and Boston. They're kind of a mystery because they lost two, obviously, Bergeron and Krejci, two really good players. You don't know what they're going to. People thought, well, maybe Tyler goes back to them, but now he's a Leaf. Tampa's always going to be there as long as Vasilevsky's in net. Everyone, Buffalo's the real sexy pick right now. Ottawa has obviously gotten better. I mean, Jake Sanderson. What his resume was like 40 some odd games in the NHL, and they signed him to an 8-year deal. In Buffalo
on
too.
The move, yeah.
Buffalo. Although
Jersey.
goaltending, New Jersey, New Jersey's good. There.
I think so too. Yeah.
I think New Jersey's definitely there, and but with all that said, I think the Red Wings do have a legitimate shot this year of certainly having a playoff run. Will they make the playoffs? Sure, I hope so. But we'll have to wait and see. Injuries is a big factor. And speaking of which, there's really a downer in this game. It's the fact that Carter Mazur was taken out of the game. We don't know exactly what happened. Dan Watson here in a matter of minutes will probably update us. But hopefully that was just a precautionary move. It won't be anything long-term, and he'll be back on the ice Saturday afternoon.
And Saturday afternoon is next up for the Wings. They take on Columbus. 3:25. Art, Daniella, and Kenny Cal back with you. Have fun, you guys, on that one. Art, what a pleasure. I really appreciate the opportunity to work alongside you and Daniella here tonight.
Bob, you're one of my all-time favorites. You're a Hall of Famer in your own right, and it's always great to share a microphone with you. I love going to Grand Rapids. I love hanging out with you. You always put me on your intermissions, so what can I say? I love the guy. But it's great.
Not as much as Sebastian Kaser.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to going to Grand Rapids this year. I'll be there a lot to check out all the high-end talent that's going to be on that Griffins roster.
Always a pleasure to welcome you to Hockey Town West. Thanks to the crew behind the scenes here, too. Lots of them without getting into the names. Some of them I don't even know. So, anyway,
but
great job.
They know you.
Great job. All right. Again, that does it here tonight. 4-2, the final. Dallas knocking off Detroit in Game 1 of the Prospect Tournament. On behalf of Art Regner and Daniella Bruce, Bob Kaser saying so long, everybody, from Center Ice Arena in Traverse City. Tonight's game brought to you by Bally Sports.